All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Juice Opinions is Loose. Haven't heard from anybody. Oh, there's Terrell. So the chat's been dead today since 11 this morning.
Hold
Couldn't get a hold of, no one replied.
on.
So it's just me and Terrell for now.
Oh, are you live?
I went live, dude. Nobody even meant. I haven't seen anybody even look at the chat since 11 this morning. So I figured, you know what? I had 6 people waiting. I figured just get started, as everybody jumps in. I mean, all 4 of us, possibly Robert could be sleeping, so it might only be 3. Retro's out for the rest of this month. He doesn't know exactly when he'll be back. Clocked its camera's not working, or I don't know if he had to send that back with his work computer. So yeah, it's just us for now. I don't know. Where's your
It's
camera?
all gone to shit.
That's all
No.
right. We can start off by talking about a little share play session. I meant to. I didn't even ask you about. It seemed like you were dodging like perfectly, unless that was an accident. But once you get your camera on, we can.
Yeah, sorry. I was grabbing some last minute things. I was like, fuck, I got no one else is here. I got some time. Only realized no, I didn't have any fucking
No,
time. God damn it. Hold on a second. Let me
it's all right. So let me
get
set
this.
up. So Saturday we did a little Smash Brothers. You weren't there. It was me, Robert, clocked it in retro, and we were bullshit most of the time. It kind of went under the radar that I'm gonna say I won at least half the matches, if not more. But Robert could maybe attest differently to that, but that's in my mind how that went.
Right.
And then the guys had to go, and me and Robert were talking, real life stuff, women and some stuff along those lines. And you jumped in the chat, and I was like, dude, you still got PlayStation Plus? I said, let's check out the share play feature, because last time we tried it, I was on Wi-Fi, and
Yeah.
playing Bloodborne on my end, it was terrible. What's up, Lenny? What's up, Donnie? What's up, Matthew? Um, you didn't finish the
Actually,
video version of Guess the Box Art. Yeah, you. I think this time we're gonna have like specifically make sure people are playing that we know. Hey, Donnie, you're playing, or so we can wait for your answers too. But anyway, so I was like, let's check this share play out, because I honestly haven't tried it, and you got me playing Bloodborne back in the day with with some input
he
lag.
wanted to revenge me. He
So I was like, hey,
revenged
let's
me.
try this out. So I boot up Elden Ring, which you can share your Xbox story after everybody gets here, or if anybody else
Yeah.
gets here. And so I was in an area, the Atlas Plateau, and I had seen by watching another streamer that the first hard boss Margit reappears kind of as a spirit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have Terrell face Margit, but I'm level 130 instead of 20. The healing flasks. I think I had 3 when I faced him. I had 13 when you faced him. Plus my health bar was
Yeah.
4 times as long. Stamina 4 times as long. And you beat the dude in one try. So it seemed like you were dodging really well. I don't know if you're just spamming dodge or what, but you were timing it, like getting lucky, and you beat him in the first try. So that was pretty impressive. I didn't really give you the credit there. And I don't know if they
I
scaled
appreciate
his
it.
difficulty at that point, or if he was exactly like he was when I faced him the first time. But
I mean, so it's kind of hard because I can't judge it against how you're supposed to fight him the first time. But based off of that initial thing, I can see him being a problem with low stamina and like barely any ability to heal and shit.
mm-hmm.
Um, Y'all gotta remember there is some input lag there, so I'm not gonna say I was spamming circle, but I was probably generously tapping it to try to make up for the fucking that because the input lag will fuck you up, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna just overcompensate for it, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it fucking doesn't. As you would see later against normal enemies, shit didn't help
Oh yeah, you
at
died.
all.
What killed you? What were you fight? Oh, the those things on wheels with the buzzsaw arms. Like,
Yeah.
and then like this thing opens up. They're like a metal.
And then it
Almost,
grabs
and
you.
then it opens up these doors, and these arms come out and suck you in. Yeah, those things are a bitch. So I was hoping to whet your appetite a little bit with some Elden Ring. But you didn't have time because you were streamed. By the time you, well, why don't you share yours before? I don't know who else is gonna share.
Well, no, I feel like we should go into the streaming story and then double back to the Elden Ring thing. So, and Donnie actually was in my stream, so he clipped it actually.
Oh,
I
I
meant to
had
share.
the mic.
So I think I was like a good 2 hours into the stream, and me and my friends are like, "What the fuck is that noise?"
I
And we're
unmuted
hearing,
the controller about an hour after we were done.
yeah, and so like I'm like we're hearing this noise, but it's every once in a while, and we're like, "What the fuck is that?" So
Probably
I'm
the
like,
game
"Hold on, wait."
noise.
So I'm like, "Hold on, wait. I'm gonna pause the game. We're gonna sit here and wait for a second." And all of a sudden you hear Juice in the back. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Oh, I go back and check. Oh, I'm still in the fucking party with Juice. And I'm like, and so on the chat we were like, "We can hear you," and we put in the
Yeah,
messages.
because I was stuck, so I was fucking reading out loud shit off my phone and like reacting like, what the fuck? I did that, you know. I was just like getting annoyed, and then you're
And
like, we
then
can hear you, and I'm like, and I forgot
oh
PlayStation's end the voice chat means you have to leave the party, which I didn't. So I used to confuse that with leaving like our chat party, like with all the screenshots I shared and and stuff. So I was afraid to leave. Mom, god damn it. We need to talk to her one of these times. Get her on the microphone one of these days.
absolutely
I'm
not.
gonna
She'll say
interview
a bunch of
moms.
no, she'll say a bunch of shit that you should never hear.
Embarrassing stories.
It's this gonna be a bunch of fuckery. She don't know how to censor herself either. That's the problem. You don't. I ain't trying to get your channel taken down.
So, so yeah, I was like, why can't they just have like a end voice chat option? You have to leave the party. Well, before the update, I think leaving the party meant like I would lose the whole conversation history, message or screenshot shared or anything. So I was just like, whatever, you know. I didn't even realize it was on.
Oh,
But
it
it
was
makes sense.
it's the funniest shit because we're sitting there and we're laughing at us sending you the message. And so I say, fuck it, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave the party. I leave the party, not even like a minute later, you're like, leaving the PS5 party is so hard. And
Yeah,
we
it
were
is.
like, we were in tears. We're like, he's like one of my friends was like next generation. Fuck.
Yep.
So it was pretty funny. But we can double back to the Elden Ring because ironically enough, all this stems from Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we're in the group chat was to do the share play. I mean, the party chat
And
was the
the
share play.
controller has a built-in microphone. Otherwise, you know, that's the only reason any
Yeah.
audio. And I had muted it because we were on Discord, but I just saw the light on. And I was like, I might as well unmute the controller now. And that was like probably an hour later.
It
So
was weird because I bet you now, if you go look back at that stream, you can hear you probably occasionally throughout the damn
probably
stream.
cussing at getting my ass kicked. I was in this really tough area. I was like,
Don't worry, I was getting my ass kicked in
get.
Kingdom Hearts 2 too. So it literally was the same
Well, the
type
thing
of
that really
pain.
got me going was there's a quest in this game that I want to say I was around 40 hours in. You get to this these three towers. They're called rises, and they're all usually magical. The item at the top is usually a spell or an incantation.
Yeah.
And there's this like witch up there in like this white hat, like a Gandalf hat, white robes,
You shall
and
not
she
pass.
speaks really cool. Like she has this like, it's one of the coolest like dialects. Like it's like a version of like Yoda, like but not like where she phrases things slightly different and uses older terms. And she asks you to, if you want to, you know, be her not servant, but you want to be, you know, in her basically. I don't know what the exact phrase is, but basically join her and basically do what she wants you to do. And I was like, I ain't gonna do that. Well, in these games, apparently, because I'm newer to the Souls games, is you want to always accept these because they're usually quests. So Clock was
Yeah.
like, yeah, accept everything. So I accepted that, and So then there's like two other people in her group. So I talked to them, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta find this mythical realm of Nokron." And he's like, "That's my." And then you see him, and then he kind of tells you it's kind of in this underground place. And then about 20 hours later, something happens. You can access that area, and I'm like, all right, I'm finally on the path, doing this quest. And so I'm exploring that area, and then it leads to a couple boss fights, and then I kind of find this like what I think is like maybe a hidden area, and that goes into a whole nother underground area, and there's two or three more like boss fights that I struggle with. Like 30 hours later, I finally beat all those bosses. It takes me to like two other areas, so basically 80 hours later, I finally make it through that whole underground segment because I kept leaving and coming back because it was so difficult. So I finally get to the very end, and there's a freaking mythical doorway or a spell door that says, "To proceed, you must have the some kind of ring." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I've been, not actively on that quest, but about 80 hours or 70 hours of the game, and I'm like, what the fuck did I miss? And I clocked it. He told me like, just keep going where you're going. That you're heading in the right direction because I asked him a while back. And I'm like, I am not like this underground area is as big as many games, like most games. I would say that underground area is probably at least twice the size of Bloodborne as far as just area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I miss? So I look up the whatever that thing was called, and it's like, oh, it's actually the moon ring you need. No. All right, well, how do I get the moon ring? Well, you got to talk to this person. I was like, I didn't talk to that person yet. I was like, oh, you got to find this doll version and talk to her. I was like, I go to the spot where the doll's supposed to be. It's not there. I'm like, what the fuck? And then finally basically tracing it backwards. Someone's like, yeah, by the Ancient Woods Grace site. I'm like, Ancient Woods? I don't have that Grace site. So I was like, I'm going to start the very beginning in that area, and I'm just going to see in about 10, and it took me about 10 minutes. I just kind of went to a spot I hadn't gone, and there it is. And then you have to know to make this jump onto these rooftops down below, do this whole section, and then you get a sword. I'm like, well, I probably wouldn't have known what to do with the sword, but apparently, then you go back to the witch after you get the sword, and now everything else falls into place. So I had to look that up.
Yeah.
And then I look it all up, and I'm like, okay, so now I know what to do. I got to find the doll. Now I know what to talk to the doll. And then you have to go to two specific grace spots, and when you rest there, down at the very bottom is a talk to Ronnie thing that's not there normally, that I would never even see because I just go to level up and do that. So you have to know to talk to her in that specific spot. The first two times, just dot dot dot. So you have to try 3 times, and then she talks to you, gives you another quest. Then you can go defeat this dude, get this item. And I'm like, I was not gonna just randomly start at the very beginning of the area and try to find whatever I was missing.
No, I've learned purely from like Bloodborne experience. Side quests in these games are like such a long hallway of like random events and shit you have to do. And at the end of it all, I'm like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have to be guided through it. Like me even getting the best ending of Bloodborne, someone had to tell me that because even when you got there, you were like, how the fuck would you know to do that? Well, you're not. It's like a small bit of flavor text. Or I think you killed the guy at the church that you're not supposed to kill.
I hit him once, and then
Even though
after
you're not
that, you can't do anything. You can't undo it. Well, at least in Blood or in Elden Ring, they give you the option to whatever absolve your sins. So if you've attacked somebody that you weren't supposed to, as long as you don't kill them, you can absolve it and go back and reset that. But yeah, so long story short, I was over 100 hours in the game. I had started that quest like at hour 40. I had spent so much time, found everything organically at that point, except for I just missed that one little turn to the left that took me to this whole other area. And I was like, you know what? I can't, at this point, I can't waste time trying to figure out what I did wrong. That's one of those things, if you just happen to go the right way the first time, you're going to succeed. But because I missed it, and there's this whole other area off to the other direction that I just thought I was going on the right path. So, what's up, T?
Oh, what's up?
We got clocked.
How's it
He
going,
don't have
guys?
his camera, but he jumped in. I see his mic's muted.
He's talking shit behind the mic. I know what he's doing. Fucking asshole.
Robert
Nah,
had another box art bonanza game ready, but he ain't here. So
Well, actually, since you're still in the Elden Ring thing, let me tell you the thing about the Xbox thing. So
yeah, let's tell that story.
we were talking. So it was me, Juice, and Robert, and we're talking. And I'm because I had finished Psychonauts 2 that day. So I was talking about that, and then Juice was talking about Elden Rings. Like, oh, we should do share play. I'm like, cool. So you know what? Let me see if Elden Ring's on Game Pass. And so I started scrolling through the phone, and I see Elden Ring come up, and I click it, and it's like install the console, and I'm like, what? Is it this game just came out? Is it on Game Pass? So I click it, and I'm looking on my Xbox. It's like, oh no, it's installing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And so we spent like a good 5 minutes all looking like, is
Well,
this
Robert's
shit on
like, there's
Game
no
Pass?
way. Robert just kept saying, there's no way it's on. I guarantee it. He kept saying,
And we were scrolling. I took a picture. It was the full fucking. It was the full download of the game.
how much was it? 49 or 69 gigs?
It's like four. It's I think it's 49.
Yeah.
On the Xbox, it was 49. And so it gets to that point where if it downloads enough, you can play the game. And so I hit the button, only to realize that for some reason Xbox lets you download a game before you buy it. And my brain went, well, why wouldn't I just buy the game? And we fucking like, I don't know. My mind was like, what?
Because of Game Pass, that's what made you think, well, maybe they just dropped this on Game Pass.
Yeah,
if it hadn't been for Game Pass, you probably wouldn't have thought, hey, I'm just getting this game for free.
Yeah, but it's Game Pass tricked me into thinking, oh, it's on Game Pass.
So you hit it, then it took you to the screen to like purchase it, right?
Yeah, it took me to the. It's like either insert disc or or buy the game off the store, and I'm like, all right,
well,
I didn't know
cool.
this thing.
If you know it, you can pre-install the game, and then when you put the disc in, you can I don't know if this is true because on PlayStation the digital version is different than the disc version. So if you install a digital version of like Horizon, you don't need to put the disc. Like there's no way to pre-install the disc version. So maybe Xbox has that, which would be cool for if you're excited about a game, you can pre-install
Can you
it.
hear me at all now? Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So I wonder if that's the intention, is to let you pre-install.
I guess.
Look at this guy with the haircut.
To get you to play games.
I missed the fro, man. I missed the fro.
Yeah, so
Get you
Terrell
to
thought
play
he was getting Elden Ring.
But I mean, you get misled. You're on console.
He got fooled too.
See, it's one of them things where you're like, oh, look, Game Pass gives you access to all these titles. Oh shit, Elden Ring, I can just install to the console. Bet. Oh, did you pay $60 though? Oh, my bad.
It's training you to not want to buy games.
Except unless it's Lego Star Wars, because apparently in the UK, 40% of digital sales were on Xbox. And I'm like, dang, like that surprised me because it's like,
why that game is what I guess
I'm
is
trying to tell y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all this shit for years. Nobody wanted to hear me. I told y'all from just me keeping my ear to the ground at school with these kids, Xbox is coming. These kids are all playing Xbox, and it started back in 2017, 2018. I'm trying to tell y'all.
But it still
I'm
doesn't.
gonna call you the Paul Revere of Xbox. That's what I'm gonna call you.
This ain't gonna be a 2-to-1 situation like it was last generation.
Listen, T, you're gonna be the Paul Revere of Xbox. The Xbox is coming.
But you still would think with people being so used to Game Pass and not having to buy games.
Like it's not like I don't care. I'm just observing. And that's.
But you're not surprised that all the Xbox users that are used to just having Game Pass are actually went out and bought a digital version of a full price game?
No, I'm not surprised because that's another myth. It's another myth is, oh, Xbox. That's why I made the joke earlier because Xbox gamers don't buy. But if you look at the data, Xbox gamers are actually buying more games and playing more games because of Game Pass. So because there's a lot of discounts too for Game Pass. It's not just even if you can't buy it, even if you can't have the game for free, you get a lot of discounts for having Game Pass. So you can get the game cheaper, even if it's not on Game Pass. So
And
Or
plus, I
if you
think
you play a game on Game Pass and you want to own it, you can get a discount. So that's another thing.
and
So
I think the Series S sold pretty well in the UK, so that's another reason why they'd be buying the digital version because there's no disc drive.
a lot
so.
of people were laughing at the Series S, but looks like they made the right decision when making that SKU. Cause I even want one. What do I need? I'm gonna put that bitch down in my my game room down in the basement.
Honestly,
So
I don't have that. I only have one Xbox One game, but like if that just had a disc drive, I might have been enticed for like to put it in my basement. But I just can't because I mean, not for me personally, but I would probably try to pick up some Xbox One games for cheap if it had a disc drive, and I'd kind of build up a collection. If I had the X and an S or something maybe, but yeah, that's
for me, I'm a bot because I have Game Pass, and so it's gonna be my stream box for my projector, projector screen, so I can stream stuff, movies down there, as well as just play some Game Pass games down there. So
yeah, it's not a bad option if but it's interesting because that helped keep the size. It's really small and really quiet. I just wonder what a disc drive would have done to the size of the system and the price, and what it must have been that $299 threshold they didn't want to cross.
I think
Probably
sometimes
another
the
100.
best way to look at it is, it's kind of what I I asked for until the Switch Lite came out. So when the Switch Lite came out, Nintendo gave parents and people the option for a cheaper, similar, device.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
which price point?
Yeah, this is why I was always in. Nintendo should always have two pieces of hardware because we need the smaller, cheaper, not so much inferior, but still capable device that parents can afford and just go out and buy for their kids and stuff. And Microsoft have essentially done this with the Series S. And even I said at one point, a while back, I was like, if I get one, that could just easily just be an entertainment Minecraft machine for for my kids in their bedroom or something, instead of me spending a big whopping whatever on the Xbox Series X. But just as a cheap device that's capable of stuff. I know it's all digital, but it depends on what you go for. It's for kids, and like T said with Game Pass and stuff, kids don't care. It's
and you
it would
don't
save
have
me
like
save me a ton of money if I ever bought them another device again.
Mm-hmm. But if you have, I don't know what your 360 collection is at this point, but you would probably, for you personally, I'm guessing you would go with the Series X so you could still play those, possibly.
I'm actually not that
Or not?
interested in the backwards compatibility for Xbox games, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I'm kind of you know me. I'm pretty
You haven't
content with.
seen you haven't seen Panzer Dragon Orta in 4K 60. That's why.
Yeah, I know, but then Orta isn't my favorite Panzer Dragoon, so I can happily live without it, or just play it as it is, which is what I've got. But
Terrell just needed Sonic Unleashed
just
at 60, and he was at. Oh,
All right, now first
yeah,
off,
I know,
first
but
off, that was that was just for the experience. Damn it!
I got Steam as well. So when my PC was working, I did get the free BioShock update, or the free Skyrim update. So I was playing all these games as they should have been played anyway. It didn't stop me still buying games on my 360. I still love my 360
Right.
and buying stuff. It's just convenience or whatever, and playing on my home console. But I got Outrun on the PC. I got Outrun on the Xbox. I'll play them whichever one I fancy, whichever mood I can be in to play them and stuff. But no, the backwards compatibility was, I think it was never a massive thing for me with Xbox. A bit bigger maybe with PlayStation, because I love my PS1 games and my
like
PS2
I said, I
games.
didn't know. I don't really know what your 360 collection looks like. What games you have?
It's quite big. I mean, I got quite a few games from it. It was one of my favorite consoles, back then. If that did Red Ring on me twice, if that did Red Ring on me twice, a bit like my Switch, I'd be all happy days with it, So.
Hey, Robert, how was your nap, Robert?
I love how it all turned up late.
Like Lenny said, the roster's starting to fill out nicely.
looking kind of
just
thick
me
in here, yo.
Literally started just me.
Looking kind of
Oh,
thick.
really?
in
It was
here,
just
yo.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick in the chat said buying digital games on Xbox. Some games grant you a digital PC version. I think that's only Xbox games. I don't think third-party games.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Because
Yeah, it's only, as far as I know, it's only first party games.
and just talking to some PC only guys, they don't use the Windows. They won't use the Windows Store, even if they like Microsoft. It
sucks.
These guys are Steam, and if they're not playing just
GOG.
on Steam, they're playing freaking World of Warcraft through Battle.net or whatever. That's like, they won't even. I know a guy. He won't even install Epic.
They won't even. I was gonna say they don't even want to give Epic a chance.
He doesn't
bro.
want to create an account and have to redo his whole friends list. It's like he's been gaming on PC for 15 years with Steam. Like, he doesn't want to start over with another.
You asking me
platform.
to change? How fucking dare you?
Even if there's all these free games, but he doesn't.
I did. Yeah. I got 40 free games on that bit.
I think I did 2 or 3. I did Control.
I signed up. I think I signed up day one when they gave away Subnautica, which I really enjoyed. I wish I could play more of that actually, but that was a good download.
So any other? I do want to share my Saturday and kind of reminisce about the old days when I was a kid, my gaming days, my gaming sessions. So Saturday, my foot's been a little sore.
This
so
is gonna be a sad story.
I gotta stay off my feet. I gotta do whatever.
It's gonna be about 20 minutes. Prepare yourself, boys.
I gotta stay off my feet. So I was like, you know what? It's like me and my buddy went and had breakfast. I get home about 10:30. I was like, I'll start playing Horizon. It's been a couple weeks. About 10 minutes in, I'm like, maybe I'll just stream. What the hell? I'm gonna go no HUD. I'm just gonna explore, and I'll just stream for an hour or two. And got anybody in Europe, it's gonna be a better time for them. And so I start streaming, and I kept encountering everywhere I went. It's like, oh, I don't have the item to access this. There's vines in the way, and so I need something to get rid of these vines. I can't imagine what it's going to be. And then there's also things where I got to swim underwater. I don't have the breathing apparatus. So, you know what? Let me just do a main story mission and hopefully that gets me like at least one of the 2 things I need. So I'm sitting there, and there's a lot of dialogue, and also, people start joining that had played the game and chatting. And next thing I know, I was looking, I was like, man, I've been streaming for 2 hours already. I was like, Jesus Christ, like it felt like an hour. Like I was just, engrossed in the game. So I was like, I'll stream a little bit longer. Next I checked, 3 hours and 20 minutes in. I was like, you know what? I'm going to end the stream. I got like 7 or 8 people were watching. I was like, you know what? I got to end this stream at some point. I'm just going to end it. And then I turn off the stream. I play for another 2 hours, 40 minutes. And then I see Robert's like, oh, so we playing Smash or Retro, I think said it, at like 5 o'clock. So I've been gaming on Horizon for 6 hours, a little over. And I was like, man, I just ended a 6-hour session. I don't know. And then about 30 minutes later, I was like, yeah, I'll play a few matches. I don't know what time we started, but we played for about 2 hours. Like I said in the beginning, Robert, in my memory, or my recollection was I felt like I won about half the matches that night, but I don't know if that's true. I just feel like I did.
I know I lost most of
it. Good shit.
But so we had fun, and I was like, all right, you guys got out or clocked it, and Retro left. Me and Robert started talking about real life stuff
for like an hour,
and then Terrell joins us.
Yeah,
and so we're chatting. He's like, "What the hell did I walk into?" We're talking about. I was telling him about a past experience with a girl I worked with and my ex-girlfriend, and
that went on for like another 40 minutes with me.
So then I said, Terrell, I said, let's try some share play. I want you to play some Elden Ring. So we start. Probably about 9:15 I turn it on. 9:30 he give him control. He beats Margit the second time around and on his first try, and he explored a couple other areas. And he bowed out, and I was like, yeah, I'll just do one or a few more things, I was like a level 130 at that point with huge health bar, but he got him first try. So he leaves. And then I play, and like midnight rolled around. I was like, I gotta feed the cat. I was like, I'll just do a couple more things. Then it was like 1 o'clock. I was like, damn it, I got to finish this up first. And then the thing happened I was saying with that quest where I get to the very end and there's a magical door and I didn't have the item. So then I had to figure out what I had missed. I was like, well, I'm going to do that. And that takes you to this whole nother area above that. I've been, Clockton and I, like 10 hours in the game, we're like, man, how do we get up there? 100 hours later, I'm up there. And I'm like, well, since I'm up here, I might as well look around. I looked down at my phone. It was 3:20. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I started gaming at 11 in the morning, and I turned it off finally at 3:30 a.m. But there was like an hour and a half where just Robert and I were chatting, and there was about a half hour I was waiting for Smash. So about a 14-hour play session with just like 2 hours of break in between.
And just to give you, if the boys in the Hangouts chat, those 2 clips I posted was you will get to hear Juice on my
we
stream.
started a party and my controller, my mic was still on my controller. So on Terrell's stream, they kept hearing something, and it turned out it was me like cussing out the game and shit.
It was him talking the game. So we kept playing. All of a sudden we hear this. What the hell is that? And I'm like, hold on, everyone, shut up for a second. Let's just listen. And then you hear Juice talking. I'm like, oh shit, are we still in the party chat? So I sent him a message on stream talking about we can hear you. And then I leave the chat, and then like maybe less than 5 minutes later, I get a message that pops up on my screen saying, leaving the party chat on PS5 is so hard.
That's like, because before, if you left the party, you left the like your whole conversation history gone. Well, they just changed it. They just did an update, like, man, I don't know, 2 updates ago, and I hadn't done it since. Where leaving the party is just leaving the party chat, but it just says leave party. So I was afraid to leave the party, so I was just like, whatever. I think it's over. I thought, Terrell, I didn't realize you were still playing on your PlayStation, and so I didn't realize it was still active.
I was a Sony pony that night.
So yeah, so that was funny. But yeah, I had a 14 hours, and up till 3:30 in the morning, and I honestly can't remember ever playing that much in a stretch of like out of 16 hours. I was playing for 14, and I mean I'm 43 years old. My hands get sore from playing long, but I was just like it was all day, half a day plus. So
having a blast.
I'm just wondering, anybody have
43. You old as
I don't think
I'll tell you what I played. I played with the aid of my 7-year-old. I was desperate to play it. I played the Sonic the Hedgehog game on Roblox, and she talked to me. She talked to me telling me all about obbies and stuff like that, and how I need to get faster. But you know what? I fucking loved it. And if you're interested, I say just quickly download it. It takes about maybe 20 minutes to get up to speed. You need to find the Sonic and Tails cards, which are hovering around. You collect those, and you can look like Sonic the Hedgehog, and you just bomb it around this Roblox world, and it feels so fucking good.
Better than any 3D Sonic game? No.
No, it's still within the realms of Roblox, but the actual concept and the idea there is like T would notice. It's like an expansion of the 3D area in Sonic Jam.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the extension of that, and the speed you can run around. You're free to go around the loops, and it's like free control. It doesn't like lock in completely like the other games, and it just feels really fucking good. And the speed, I was like, I'm really impressed with this.
Some kids made this shit in their free time. Mm-hmm. Why can't Sega get this shit together?
No, this was actually. I
no, this is from Sega.
Officially, yeah.
Oh, it was from Sega. Okay.
It was from Sega.
Yeah,
I'm mad because I wanted to play it. My friends were talking about it, and I wasn't feeling good last week, so I didn't
go on the Roblox and make a nicely controlling fucking Sonic.
It's crazy. I use the mouse. You hold down the right button on the mouse for your free camera control. Just use the arrow keys to run forward and stuff, and it just
you can
really well.
You can use a controller on Roblox though. Roblox
I was just using my junk laptop.
What's gonna happen?
You can use a touchscreen if you're on mobile. Like
yeah.
Crazy.
Start playing Sonic Dash.
Give people a couple months from now, and the Unreal Engine 5 demo or access, anybody can download it. You have to have a computer that can run it. There's gonna be a 3D Sonic game on there. I guarantee you, it's gonna be as good as. It's gonna be what people have been asking for Sega to do for years. It might not be a full game, but
they're laughing in the chat, right? I'm not defending Sonic on Roblox here. What I'm saying is,
it's so disrespectful, y'all.
the actual open nature of the area and the way you can freely control Sonic, even though it's just a Roblox character, to move around it, to collect rings, to collect items and gems and stuff like that. It worked and worked surprisingly well within the confines of what Roblox actually is. And that's why I said it felt like an extension of that demo that you kind of got with Sonic Jam in that 3D arena, where you can just play around, run around, go around these massive loop-de-loops, jump off ramps and stuff. It just, I was
the first time I saw that, my mind was just like, oh man, 3D Sonic is right around the corner. Oh, it's gonna be great on Saturn. Never got it.
Don't do that to me. We did get 3D Sonic. We got Sonic R, and I will die on this fucking hill.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I will die on this fucking hill.
Listen,
I'll
that
die on this hill.
soundtrack. Listen, that soundtrack is goated, but the game is like low-key ass.
Listen. I don't care, and unless you were there in that era. Unless you were there in that era and playing it, your opinion means nothing to me.
I did play it in that era.
I played it in that era. It was dog shit.
No, it wasn't. It was not dog shit.
It's a short game. It was unbalanced as fuck. If you were playing with like Amy and Eggman, you were just you always lost. You never won.
They were slower and stuff, right? To be picking on that type of stuff now no, I don't accept it. I refuse it. I would die on the hill.
The best thing about that game is its soundtrack. I 100% still believe that's the best thing about Sonic R.
Because the levels are really good as well.
It's
and
the
concept is really good.
They're fine.
And you got your Sonic characters for what you wanted as Sonic characters. Then you got all the robot versions of them. You got Sonic, you got Amy, you got Tails, you got Knuckles, you got Robotnik.
Listen, in the back of the backlog.
Oh God!
He can listen. Debate.
All I would say is this: I like the concept, and if they were to bring it back where they ran on foot as a racing game, I'd be 100% down for it. But as far as that game is concerned, I appreciate it for what it was at the time, and I listen to the OST occasionally. That's about what I do.
And it was
racing game with D-pad controls.
Oh
no, wait. Nonsense. It used the 3D analog stick if you had it and if you wanted it. It used.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford it.
It was still only registering D-pad controls. It wasn't. It wasn't really.
People I'm not going to defend the controls because the controls are not perfect.
Yeah, it's like playing.
But then a lot
Mario
of 3D games,
DS,
I could say people moan about the controls on Jet Force Gemini, and here's me running around blazing people up, absolutely fine. You just have to find those little nuances and master what that game offers you. It's not perfect, but in terms of the Saturn's 3D Sonic,
you can never master them. That's the thing.
It was a Saturn 3D Sonic, and in terms of that other 3D game that people wanted. We got Nights into Dreams. That was a Saturn's core game. And I would accept any console that will try and do something different without trying to force a mascot into a... I suppose that the Sonic area in Sonic Jam, yeah, even though that was super slow, was kind of what a 3D Sonic would have been on that hardware. And I say we were probably better off without a 3D Sonic like people would expect it from like Adventure or something on a Saturn. I don't think the Saturn and the PS1 could have done a 3D Sonic like what we would have wanted.
Did you like 3D Blast? That's my question. Did you like 3D Blast?
No, 3D Blast was a Mega Drive game.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
It was just ported to the side. I don't care about that game. That game's trash. Fuck that game.
Is that a 3D
Oh my God! You got him to say it's trash.
But hey Terrell, the soundtrack was good, right?
What's better, Sonic R or Sonic Forces?
R.
R.
It's
all right.
R.
So moving on, we had a news person in the chat, Samuel. He said he just picked up a Switch and ARMS. I'm curious what made you go with ARMS and if you got it physically. I know it was a little bit ago. He said that.
That was really random. I was like, ARMS? Wow.
I mean, I'm not
Arms
mad
was
at
fun.
you.
I enjoyed my time with
Arms,
Arms.
arms, unfortunately.
Somebody
Arms
who
is
just
great.
bought a Switch for the first time is getting Arms.
I think I ended with like 60,
Motherfuckers like, what the hell is that?
I think between 60 and
That doesn't
70
sound like
hours.
Animal Crossing to me.
I ended up putting 60 to 70 hours in Arms, I believe.
Yeah, I was about around the same.
Okay,
Oh,
man,
no.
Get out of the chat.
Retro Death, of course, he loved 3D Blast.
Of course it
Oh,
is.
Jesus.
Listen, all I'm gonna say about 3D Blast is
Get
this.
out of
Depth,
here.
depth
There you go,
perception.
hipsters. There you go.
Listen. About that fucking game.
We saw what Sega were doing with the 3D Sonic. That was Sonic Extreme, and it was absolute trash what they finally showed. That's why it was
could have been
cancelled.
good.
No, it
could have been good. Had they not got their
just look at Sonic Extreme footage. They could not get Sonic.
It's 10 frames per second. I think so.
Horrendous.
You would have vomited, literally. I'm kind
of glad we got something. I'm glad we got something different over something that just wouldn't have worked.
They weren't allowed to use the Knights engine. If they would have been able to use the Knights engine, it would have been a good game. But somebody was pissy about them aping off his engine. He ain't like it, Mister.
We got Sonic in. We got
Mr.
Sonic
Balan
in
Wonderworld.
Oh, don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that!
Mr. Balan Wonderworld did not like the fact that they were going to use his Knights engine, so he pissed off. And said,
I didn't mean to go off on the Sonic thing again. It was just
that
it was fresh news. I enjoyed the Sonic Roblox thing for what it was as an experience, and that's what it was.
Sam will come back with kind of a head scratcher. He likes motion controlled fighting games, which. What other ones are
I was going to say,
what other ones are there?
I guess the only other one you would have is I don't know if Punch
Not
Out
impressed
really
with other
counts.
first party games.
No, Punch Out, yeah.
This must be an Xbox or PlayStation guy who just finally bought a Switch.
That doesn't make any sense. If Xbox PlayStation guy wouldn't, well, maybe an Xbox guy, but
Hey,
I doubt
connect,
it.
man.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe an Xbox guy. Maybe an Xbox guy.
I mean,
yes, we know Airs. We know ARMS sold over 3 million. We all love it, but we know nobody talks about ARMS today. So
It's
let's not pretend.
It moved on to Splatoon 2 like a month. Most
like
people
immediately
moved on afterwards.
I don't know if it sold 3. I thought it sold 2.
Yeah, I think it was at 2 million
at
the
this
last time I
point,
checked.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was closer to 3, but I don't know. But
3 million is great.
But it's still big, yeah.
It's good. It's just that game kind of got hoed by Splatoon coming out right after it.
Yeah, that was that would have been a good 2018 game, ARMS, because there wasn't a whole lot else other than
It would have been
ports.
perfect for 2018.
Yeah, because I think 2018 didn't have any real stuff until towards the end of it with Smash and whatnot.
Smash was
Smash
really
in
it,
December of
Mario
2018.
Oh wait, Donny Arts.
It also had Kirby.
Star Allies.
Oh, Star
Kirby
Allies.
and Friends.
Oh, you bitch. Boo, you've never played the best
Donny
version.
mentioned that the half pipe, like in Sonic 2 where you got the pseudo 3D bonus level. Well, in 3D Blast, they brought that back. And the
that was only like
is in full 3D, and that looks great. But that's it.
I mean, that was cool.
That's the only thing I could
Genesis.
like I said, the worst thing about that game is depth perception. You could not ever consistently hit or duck things. It was just like, well, just press the jump button, hope you fucking don't land on something.
That isometric top-down angle just didn't work for Sonic. It's like,
I see what they were going for. I respect the effort, but man, it did not come out well. That's all I'm gonna say. I remember playing that shit and returning it within the same weekend. I was
let's
like,
not
no.
get into another Halo.
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't care about Halo, bro.
We're not doing
it's
this.
Not that big a deal to me.
I mean,
I
ARMS
don't know
sold
why
3
you bring up
million.
Halo.
So you say. I mean, you have a lot. You make a lot of claims without like a proof. Show us where it showed.
You starting to sound like retro over there, Ayers. You starting to sound like retro.
I want people to talk about ARMS. We all
that doesn't
do.
Change
We all
the
love
fact
ARMS.
that ARMS died.
Do we all not wish there was another one. Another ARMS that come out, we all like it.
Better single player. We
all
always
love
said
it.
More single player content.
But the facts are, nobody in the community is talking about ARMS today. That's what I'm saying.
It's been 5 years. I mean, we wouldn't
3 million
expect
copies. We all understand that.
It's successful. Probably get a sequel on the next system. But
the
game really just needed to be like a free game at like 2 years ago. It should have been a free game on Nintendo Switch Online permanently. If you really wanted people to continue and have a decent user base, because if you go online right now, I'm sure there's people playing it, but it's not like you're gonna have like this
Yeah, it's not like a
large
booming.
community.
It's not a booming community, but there is a community behind it.
Stay gaslighting, bro.
One of the best things about ARMS is it's one of the few Nintendo Switch games that you can button map the entire fucking controls.
The music's good.
It's also the only. It's only like one of the only Nintendo games that took one theme and remixed it like 20 fucking times.
I mean, we honestly
No,
we barely.
unless you talk about Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh,
that's the prime example of that. But yeah, I mean, we played ARMS pretty decently for that first, 6 months or so. But I mean, we played it once or twice since then. It's just one of those games. I mean, it happens to online games that have a big focus on online.
And it needed more content,
yeah.
To keep it going.
It's not getting new like iconic
Just like
characters.
Halo.
It's not getting like Sora and Sephiroth and stuff. Like it was never gonna be huge, but yeah, it was a success.
You know what I need? You know what I need in my ARMS? More Sephiroth. Where's some Sephiroth in my ARMS?
You know what would have been nice? What did we all say? The Lil Mac or something? A nice tie.
Yeah, Lil Mac.
Yeah, that would have made the most sense. I don't know what we're gonna.
We all want ARMS 2, where they flesh out the story, give a story mode, and because those characters are so awesome, like they're so full of character, but we don't get a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't know what we're arguing here. We're just saying the game pretty much died after a few months. As far as
the best way to describe it is like financially it was a success. Like we're not arguing if it was a success financially. Yeah. It just means in terms of like word of mouth, people still play Splatoon 2 on top of the hype for Splatoon 3. ARMS, I mean, there are people who wanted ARMS 2, but I don't feel like it's not in the same tier because it's a new IP and it didn't catch fire the same way Splatoon did. It just did.
Yeah, the first Splatoon versus ARMS, I mean, Splatoon 1 sold like 5 million on the Wii U or something, like that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the game. It's just
Nintendo had a life. Like 2 years, 3 years later.
The game with Splatoon a month later.
They were still doing tournaments. They still do Splatoon tournaments, but with the 2, ARMS they tried. It sucks. It's a good game. It sold well, but it
doesn't work as a spectator's
game. It's just been kind of forgotten.
Our resident here, Robert, was on competing himself
and got his ass whooped. I mean, we don't talk about that part, but
Man,
very close to winning that battle.
I did not get my ass whooped in the first round though.
Yeah, Zeke.
Zerk, but
Zerk, the jerk.
Yeah.
I like how Robert remembers the name. I remember the
Of course I remember the name. I
remember the name of the man who beat you.
I mean, podcasts that say, yeah, we had a potential ARMS champion. We have him every week right here. You guys enjoy it. How about that?
How well did Pokken Tournament sell? Because that was quickly forgotten. Who remembers that was even on the Switch? Like,
I remember that was on the Wii U.
Yeah. You know why I remember? You know why I remember it's on the Switch? Because they gave it DLC on the Switch too. It actually has DLC for it.
Yeah, it got stuff the arcade got.
We're talking
about the problem is though, we say games get forgotten, but the reality is, we get too many games now, and it's very rare for any single game to keep you within its bubble. So people will stay in a Street Fighter bubble. People will stay in a Mortal Kombat bubble until those next games, like people say in a Call of Duty bubble and stuff. But ARMS wasn't a big enough bubble to stay in, especially when there's so much else going on around. Even in Nintendo's world, with Splatoon, like you mentioned, that came out straight afterwards and stuff. You can't
forget Odyssey came out.
It doesn't mean these games get stopped playing, but.
You know what? Like, we might see ARMS a different way than Nintendo saw it. Maybe Nintendo just saw it as almost like a demo. It's like, well, hey, look what the Joy-Cons can do, type of thing. And maybe to them it was a one-off thing.
And it could have been I'm sure it was a massive success in their eyes, even at 2 million.
Of course. Nintendo budgets ain't that high to sell 3 million copies or something.
And that's fine as well, because it's like I said, it's fine for a single game to be released. Yeah. And you never get a sequel again. It's just that with ARMS, we just know that there is just that more potential, and we do love the characters, we do love the concept, we do want to see it expanded, which is why we ask for more. But like you said, with Nintendo, sometimes you might have thought, well, we created all these great characters, it's sold pretty well, well enough to get our money back and stuff. Do we really want to do anything else with it? It falls into that F-Zero bracket, when Nintendo are like, I don't know, man, we seem to GX seemed to be the fucking peak of what we could probably, do with our series, apart from what we say like online and stuff like that. But they see these walls and they don't want to go any further with it. What was I watching earlier? I think I linked it. Doing Metroid Prime and stuff, and we know the stories and stuff, but they were saying Miyamoto and Nintendo were saying that they were pretty much done with Metroid. They thought Metroid was pretty much done, and we'll give it one more stab, and then Prime turned into what Prime was, and then because when people saw Metroid Prime, they wouldn't. Metroid Fusion got actually put into development when it saw the reception originally when they showed the first reveal of Metroid Prime and stuff. So sometimes it doesn't matter what the IP is with Nintendo. If they feel like they've achieved something to a certain point, they're just not gonna bother going past it anymore. And it's very rare then when we'll see like some IPs come back. Like I think sometimes that's quite the same with like Wave Race in 1080.
Yeah, and it's
as much as I'd love to see these games in HD, and go online to Nintendo.
Yeah, what's I mean, as much as I love Wave Race, like what is a new Wave Race gonna do? Like unless it has a really awesome online competitive mode or something.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing about it being quote unquote ARMS being dead, that just means the game came out, it sold, but it's not the hitting the annual chart every time they post their numbers. It's not climbing like a lot of the other Switch games are. What a 1-2 Switch, I mean, still climbs the charts. I think maybe finally slowed down. Some of those 2017 games are still hitting the sales charts. So in that regard, yeah, ARMS is well below that. And I'm not saying it needs to be a 10-20 million seller. We're just saying at this point, not a lot of people are out there picking up ARMS, playing ARMS. It's not in most people's rotation. It left the rotation for our group within 6 months. So that's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
You're not saying it's.
I will say that for people that play ARMS, I'm sure they can still get matches easy. You know what I mean? Like I never will ever.
She's like, I'm tired. I'm tired.
I would say a game's dead because like people love to drag that word out so quick for so many things, and but I'm sure you could just go on ARMS and pick up a match pretty damn easy all the time. So
yeah, I don't know.
More people are playing Halo.
Oh my God! Look, I am gonna throw this out here because I know Juice is not gonna want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm gonna just throw this out right now. So if you've been on Twitter today or pretty much any Nintendo site, they've probably already kind of mentioned that it seems like the emulator for the Game Boy Advance games for the Switch leaked early. So now at this point, we're just waiting on an announcement. What I find more interesting
oh my God.
is I hate you. The list of titles we got is probably I thought was the more interesting thing. I'm not gonna go through all of them because it's actually a pretty.
How many Super Mario Advance games are in there? Four?
I don't see any Super Mario Advance on here.
I'm just joking.
Wow,
Those are just all the old games.
Oh no, I'm lying. I see
Okay.
one.
Because at this point, it's completely redundant to have the NES and Super NES games, and then also
considering they ported, they tried a lot. I will say a lot of the games they picked,
they are slightly different.
A lot of the games they picked are like actual just games exclusive to the GBA, with a few rehashes because some people are like, "Hey, the GBA version has the best version of some of these titles." I'll just go through a couple of them. The Castlevania GBA games, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, F-Zero, Game & Watch, Golden Sun, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Well, here's the $1 million question.
Well, decent amount of
them. Is this part of the plus, or is this an addition? Going to be another plus after the
Bitch, if they try to add on, they can kiss.
Is this going to be part of the base, part of the plus, or extra?
It'll be on the expansion pass. That's what my guess. That's my guess.
Part of me would think that because I feel like they're going to start confusing people if they keep trying to add on to the add-ons. Like it's just
then I would be stunned.
I'm already confused.
That's what I'm saying. So
all right, let's go around. Who thinks? Anybody here think it's just gonna be part of the $20 Nintendo? They're gonna add Game Boy Advance games to just the base and Nintendo Switch Online.
I don't think it would make sense.
Wait, to add it up. Oh wait, you mean like
Just
the base?
it's just going to be part of the
It's
base.
$20.
$20.
Oh no,
no,
hell no.
I ain't,
Oh,
make,
that
I
makes
ain't that
sense.
stupid.
It's
No.
not part of the expansion. Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
what
that I
everybody
would
thought.
very much.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
expansion pass. That's expansion.
yeah, that's gonna be expansion. I mean, I would say it's a decent list of titles. It's a good mixture of old stuff and well-known stuff. There's some Zelda, some WarioWare, Wario Land, Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission.
The
Yeah,
Wario
all that-
Land games.
A
boy.
lot of the time,
You can't
a
have
lot of the
Twisted
time
on
we
there
get-
though.
Wario Land 4?
Unless
wanna
you
use
use
that.
I guess
Yeah.
I could use the
Yeah.
gyro.
Yeah, it's Wario Land 4, and then you got
It gotta
Mega.
be. It gotta be.
Then you got Mega Man Battle Network, and then you got Metroid. You got Mr. Driller.
One of the greatest 2D platformers of all time.
And then a bunch of Mario, so Mario and Luigi, Mario Golf, Kart, Party, Tennis versus Donkey Kong. Which, by the way, the first Mario vs. Donkey Kong is actually really good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That IP just kind of went to
There was
shit
some
when they
good games on
introduced.
it. There's
Man.
good stuff there.
Yeah, and then Golden Sun. That's the one I'm
I
probably.
mean,
Gonna...
Golden Sun. Everybody want that. Everybody want to be able to play.
Then
that.
you got what? Minish
Those
Cap.
are Wii U people.
Oh, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, and
See, like,
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
You might say that they might be different, but I'm
need to
sorry,
make-
those
they
are
need
the
to change the
that's
names
the
on that shit.
inferior version
No,
of.
the reason why you say it's different because there's actually, and I never knew this until only semi recently, is that there's actually brand new levels that they made for the e-reader stuff that
Yeah.
are legit in the vein of like Super Mario Brothers 3 and shit that
Yep.
Nintendo made brand new
The
levels.
question
that-
is-
Made-
As long as those are, I didn't
But-
have any e-readers,
yeah.
so I never had access to
Yeah.
those.
The question is, the question is if they're included on these ROMs.
nobody bought an
Well,
e-reader, so it better be in there.
well, that's the thing. They were included on the Wii U on Virtual
Were
Console.
they?
So if you picked it up on the
Oh,
Wii
were
Virtual
they?
Console,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. Again,
So
I
that
know I
means
keep
it
saying
won't
it,
be
but-
on this because that's Nintendo.
that what-
Oh!
It does shit like the other stuff.
If it was just
Yeah,
straight up Super Mario World, the Super NES version or the Game Boy Advance, what the hell's going
Yeah.
on in this room?
Clocked it. You were just in
You
the
turned all
dark,
lights
bro.
off,
My God, what's going on?
and
What, bruh?
What
Oh, it's just one little blue speck.
Snake.
yeah, I always
Look at
see
that.
blue.
This is what I got, like a jank laptop, man. You're lucky you can even hear me.
Wait, what? But we can see.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just
it's
say
weird.
like
behind-
It's weird.
red
Your
pixels.
audio,
Like,
your audio
like-
is clean.
Yeah,
Your
I
audio
know,
is
but
clean.
the camera.
Your audio is clean as
Whoa.
hell.
Looks like you had a rave.
But
or
how's that
something.
possible? How's that
It's like-
possible?
No, T. You know what this reminds me of? It
Uh.
reminds me of those old Dr. Trey videos where he was in the
Oh,
dark.
man.
Oh,
When he was in the
It's fine. I
dark.
think it's cool like
He
that.
was-
It looks like there's
It was
a
in the-
light going on. That must be on the TV. Must
The
be.
only light you got
Yeah,
in
but-
the videos
There's
was
a
the
tiny
reflection
little
off the
blue light
damn
that's it.
computer
Your mouse
screen.
light?
No, I think that's coming from the
Is that
GoldenEye.
God? Oh,
No, it's coming from the TV behind me.
Oh.
where's this?
kinda
Where's
looks
the
It
like-
TV?
looks
I
like,
don't
it
even-
looks like
Minecraft.
the
It
cameras.
looks like a
looks like
Minecraft
my
text.
cameras.
Looks like Minecraft. Robert's like, oh, it's Steve.
Except when I make
It's
it bigger, then it changes. Now it's just black. But
Does it?
anyway,
Yeah.
Let me see.
the one thing about those Game Boy Advance versions is they had two less
Fucking
buttons,
ghost.
so they had to do some finagling there with the controls
Yeah.
for sure.
of the Super Nintendo
mean-
games.
With NES and SNES on there, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to bring the advanced stuff over.
Especially
It's
if
long-
part,
yeah.
I mean, if you already have the expansion pass and it's included in that, maybe
Right.
I'd check
It doesn't
out,
hurt.
but
It doesn't hurt.
it
Well,
doesn't
like I
really
said,
add that
that's
much
the thing-
value to the
that's the
library.
thing
doesn't hurt,
with
but it
the
doesn't really
e-readers.
add
Well, that's part of the reason why I would think they probably wouldn't charge as much extra for
Oh,
it.
sorry.
'cause
What games? What?
I was
know
talking
you
about
just
the
went over. What games
Mario
did they mention?
Advanced,
Mario
Mario
Advance
Advance versus
games.
the Super Nintendo version of Mario.
Yeah,
World.
they found like a list of a decent amount of titles of what's supposedly going to be at least probably pushed out through the service. Obviously, we're not going to get all these at once. It's going to be like
I
fucking-
literally just
Am
don't.
I right
give
about
a
this?
shit,
Am I
man.
remembering this right?
What?
Is there is there regular Game Boy versions of Donkey Kong Country but not Game Boy Advance versions?
I think the Game Boy Color had one.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the Game Boy Color.
No, there's Donkey Kong Country
I think
Advance.
the Game Boy Advance had it too. Had one. Yeah,
The-
yeah, because I was getting Super.
By the way,
Nintendo,
that's
I'm
not
pretty
on
sure.
here at all.
Let's look, because I thought it the original
thought-
Donkey Kong Country because they
They
put that
also
shit on the
didn't-
Game Boy.
I don't remember there being an advanced version of Donkey Kong Country.
I don't
But I
remember.
remember the
I
Game
feel
Boy
like I
Color.
would have added that to my list. I don't remember.
I will
seeing
say,
it.
if you're
Donkey
gonna-
Kong Country GBA playthrough,
They
the only
probably
thing
done
that
it
yeah,
on
bump-
they
land.
had
I will
Game Boy
say-
Advance version. So let's see how it looked. I'm gonna share my
The one
screen.
thing that would have made me somewhat interested in getting this is if they put the titles that they refuse to put on these fucking
I don't
emulators.
think I ever. I mean, that looks decent.
Let me see. Hold on.
Like which games, Terrell, for you?
Oh, it's obviously the fucking Pokemon games.
This is
bro.
probably just. I'm wondering if this is just the Game Boy
yeah.
Color version.
Yeah,
for
like the
Advance.
fact that we're still dealing with the
What the hell
whole
is this?
the
Just
main
Game
line
Boy
Pokemon.
or Donkey Kong Country on the GBA.
Didn't they have them on the 3DS though?
Yeah, they put them like towards the end, and we only got up to gold and silver,
Huh.
and then that was
So
it.
just
We
the
didn't.
So what are you missing then? I don't
We're
know.
missing.
how many
We're missing
I
Ruby,
think it's just
Sapphire,
the
and
first
Emerald.
more? Okay.
Ruby,
Let
Sapphire,
me
and
jump
Emerald
ahead.
are
I want to see
the,
what this actually
are
looks
the
like.
Game Boy Advance titles. Gold. I
Okay.
mean, silver, gold,
I
and
bet it looked
crystal were
good
the
on the
Game Boy
Advance
Color.
screen.
Looks
Okay.
all right.
on
That
the
is
small
good,
screen, it
obviously,
looked great.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I would imagine, on a GBA that would look perfectly fine.
I remember there was a decent amount of Super NES games made their way. Not. It
Oh,
wasn't like,
man, please. The Game Boy Advance, ironically
That
enough, I very much believe the Switch in some ways was trying to take after the Game Boy Advance.
That
in
was
its
a
early-
mini Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
That
like
was cool
literally the
because-
first year was just a bunch of fucking ports.
I'll defend some of the GBA SNES ports because, we're all big about backwards compatibility and stuff now, but, seeing those SNES games at that time on a portable device, fucking hell, come on, man.
I mean,
It
I was
a-
happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, no. At the time, I'm just saying, like today, it's like, oh, okay, well,
I stopped
Yeah, like
buying
the
them.
problem
after-
is it's
first
somewhat
one,
it somewhat hurts the GBA's library a little bit
Yeah.
because
No.
Because it's kinda redundant.
The only thing it was really missing out on, if I remember correctly, was its own 2D Mario.
yeah.
And
Technically, you can say its own
arguably a
Kong.
Donkey Kong, but it had its own unique Donkey Kong games on there. Going back to my old Sonic R thing, like, it's okay for an old system to have a unique spin on something. But I think that was
bring
it
it up.
because it had its own Zelda. You had Minish Cap, you had Metroid Fusion,
Yeah,
Yeah.
F-Zero.
you had new F-Zeros and everything. There's still loads of new Nintendo IPs on there and
Yeah.
brand new ones, of course. I say brand new ones. You had Famicom Wars, but it turned into Advance Wars, which a lot of us was first introduced to Famicom Wars
And,
on the
Super
Game Boy
Circuit
Advance.
had half the game was new, the other half was just the original game.
Which, by the way, that's also
Super
included-
Circuit.
Oh, man,
Super Circuit was great.
That Mario Kart does that. So.
Yeah, but I mean,
Super
that had
Circuit was great.
the whole
no one
entire
was
original
saying
game.
that at the time, or it's got half the
I mean, I
SNES
was
games.
happy
It's
with
in
it.
there. Fucking, come on.
One of them wasn't good though. Was it GP Legend?
That was the F-Zero one.
Um,
that was the one I didn't play. I didn't play GP Legend.
Yeah, I think that one wasn't very good.
Well, at least the ones they're including are neither of those games. They're including Maximum Velocity for
Maximum
F-Zero.
Velocity is good. I bought that. That was a launch game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
launch
And
game.
then they're
Got it
and
at
they're
launch.
also and then they're
That's what I've been
including
playing recently. Yo.
and they included they're including Super Circuit for Mario Kart.
No Iridian 3D.
Iridian.
So, does anybody
that?
think there's
That's
any
will-
chance
I will-
they're
I
gonna
will
charge
say this.
extra for these Game Boy Advance, Game Boy?
No.
I doubt it.
Because we thought
Yeah.
the N64 would be $5 to
It better
$10.
not.
Yeah, but
No,
I think the reason they're making that gap so big is so they continue to add to it.
Yeah.
That's why
They
I
add
have.
then it'll be worth it.
If this comes in now as an additional, more expensive tier again, not even I will try to group other people together again just to say.
Oh no,
There's no chance it's gonna be more. I would bet money you're not gonna
highly
add
doubt it.
I would never
highly
say
doubt it.
no chance. I don't think it's.
Yeah,
highly
I'm not gonna
likely.
say that. I'm not gonna.
I'll just say
I'm not gonna say
I
that.
highly doubt
Out of
they're
the
gonna
group
do
here, I would.
I doubt
I'll say
it,
that
but-
I won't be surprised if they do.
You're gonna
Oh, I won't
they're
be
gonna
surprised
they're
at
gonna
all.
call it the advanced pack.
that. That actually is not a bad line. That's what I hate. It's not a bad.
They're just
Is
gonna
that a
be
bad
adding
thing?
Switch
tiers, like-
Online advanced pack.
I am gonna say there's one title on here that's really niche that I fuck with, but I'm surprised it's on here. And it was the first GBA game I ever played. Car Battler Joe. If
What
for
game?
those Car Battler Joe, it's like this really
Never heard of it.
it's such a it's a left field game. I don't know why I had it for the
Is my
GBA.
camera working now, or am I still like black?
Oh no, you're in the dark.
I'm black anyway, but and I'm like I'm
Oh,
black.
you're blacker than black, man. You black,
We,
y'all.
we do see a shade of you. We see a little shade of you, like.
I don't
Yeah, I
see
can
a. Oh
kinda
no, I
see
do.
a little bit.
Oh god.
Oh, yo, that's pretty intense.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it stopped working.
Because everything
That's
hates you,
hilarious,
bro.
yo.
I'm a fucking. Oh yeah, here it is.
It just
I'm
gets
just-
worse and worse, then, doesn't it? Yeah. You know what?
It devolves into hell.
That's great, man.
I'm gonna just throw this up on the screen just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. The fact that this is included on the list confused the shit out of me.
Didn't
'Cause
bring
I
up
remember-
Iridium 3D.
I did. Oh well, I mean, it wasn't on the list. I'm only bringing up
I'm
Car
just
Battler. I only brought up Car
See, that's the
Battler Joe
thing.
because it just happened to be fucking on the list.
Nice, look at
Our
that.
Battler Joe.
I didn't. I don't know why I had this game, and I played it, and it's
Man, you
it's
get those
alright.
random games when you're
Man, I
young.
hope they bring the Medal of Honor games on it.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, yeah, Metal
Those
of Honor.
fucking games were
It is,
basically
yeah, it looks pretty
unplayable.
cool.
God, I haven't watched this in so long. What the fuck?
Can you imagine playing a first-person shooter? On
How does that
GBA?
work? How does that work, T?
They
Yeah,
look
they-
terrible.
They even
Did
had
it?
Doom on a Game Boy Advance, man. Let's go.
I don't know
Oh
what made them do
no! Why? Why would they do
Why
such a
not?
thing?
They had Max Payne on. Did you know they had Max
That's
Payne?
your shit.
I only looked at it recently. They had Max
That's
Payne on
his,
Game Boy Advance.
If they
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
add X versus 7, they need to pay us.
Oh
that
my
game
god!
is trash.
Oh, that's why I don't remember this shit. It was a Natsume title. I was like, what the? Fuck?
X versus 7.
I couldn't think of where the fuck this was from. It's
There's some
fucking not-
impressive ass ports on those things, man.
Oh, I
Like,
mean,
like I said,
yeah.
Max Payne. They had a driver.
They'll charge extra
Like-
from the dual screen era
I mean,
game.
the most ideal situation would be if they put like Game Boy and Game Boy Color on the normal Switch Online, and then put Game Boy Advance on the expansion pass. You know, to
Oh, actually, that
I-
wouldn't
I-
be bad.
Yeah, this
I,
is
I
this
think
is
I
nice
think
right
more
here.
people are going to be more like, into the Game Boy Advance games than the older Game Boy games.
Yeah,
It's one of those
definitely.
games that are like $500 and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
buy
actually,
it.
I don't. Actually, I'm curious how much this actually
Buy it
goes for.
physically.
This is from 2001. I bet you this shit's
It's
like
expensive.
What's it called?
I'm
Car
sure.
what again?
Car Battler Joe. It's like it's a Natsume title.
If it's a Natsume title, then it's probably as expensive because
It's
there you
definitely
have
expensive.
it.
It's
There you
Natsume.
have it's Moon People, man. So,
I-
what's his name?
It's weird.
Car
It's actually
Battler
really
Joe.
highly rated.
Yeah,
then-
that's pretty fucking
it's a
expensive.
good
Holy
game.
Shit. Wait, Car Battle Joe, like, is there a number to it? Or it's just
No,
a-
it's just one.
bro,
It's
that
just-
shit is pricey. Holy
Oh my
crap.
god!
The lowest I see is 175 for a loose cartridge.
For a loose card, yeah.
And the
Holy
box is like
crap.
almost $3,000.
What?
If you have it in box, it's like. And I used to have the cart of this thing. Fuck.
Dude, yeah, with the box and manual, $539.
The box
Holy
and the
shit.
manual usually is way more expensive than the damn game itself.
Oh, it always is. This is.
$650, $699, $749, complete in box. Holy
I
shit!
see
Damn, that's a
800.
real pricey one. You should have kept it, Terrell. What's going on?
I think I have. I think I might still have the game. I know I don't have the fucking cart. I mean, I know I don't have the box anymore. The box. That was such a
Is that
weird.
the repro? I think I have that repro.
Do you?
Crazy.
I think so.
It's just interesting. But I mean, at least based off the game list, I would at least get it if nothing else to play Sacred Stones because I've never played Fire Emblem Sacred Stones.
You
so it'd be
could
my
boot up your
Yeah,
Wii U
Sacred
and get it
Stones.
permanently.
Hey, they had Sacred Stones if you were 3DS ambassador.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
that would
I
require.
was gonna say I know it's on something new, but
Bro,
yeah,
it's on
you
Wii
had
U
to be an
and 3DS, I
ambassador.
believe.
No, I thought
Yeah, all
3DS
the
had the
GBA games
original
are on,
Fire Emblem, not Sacred
are on a Wii
Stones.
U.
Yeah, it's on the Wii U. I know you don't want to plug in your Wii U, but if you just pay on
Oh.
Wii U, you can have it for forever instead of
I'm
paying
saying.
monthly. Just saying.
All right, so we got cameras off. Terrell's taking his heads.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
All right,
I
so
think what would be interesting with
just wanna
like
check out
with
the
the Game
Sacred
Boy
Stones.
Advance is that
Pretty
there is
sure it's
also
on
quite a lot of strategy games as well. So you have Final Fantasy Tactics, which was fucking great, and another one was Ogre Battle, Tactics
Ogre,
Ogre,
yeah.
which was fucking great. I got that as well. so it'd be the Game Boy Advance had a lot of strategy and RPG games, and like I said, adventure games and stuff. And it'll obviously they own Golden Sun,
Yeah,
so
man.
Golden
There you go,
Sun should fly on there.
Stones.
Yeah,
Sacred
there's Sacred
Stones.
Stones. Yeah, he was on Ambassador game, right?
Yeah.
But I think people would see a lot more value, these days in the Game Boy Advance than them worrying about playing old Game Boy games. And as much as I love the original Game Boy and stuff, and the GBA would just be more appealing. I can imagine them putting that on the more expensive expansion pass.
What the ambassadors at? Ambassadors in the house?
No, I was
Yeah,
never.
no,
I was never an
All of us?
ambassador.
All of us?
I was
just put
never
my
an
hand up,
ambassador.
and I realized my camera's not even on.
No, I was never an ambassador.
You got the Sacred Stones, boy.
Yeah.
I thought, well, no, because then there's 2 Fire Emblems on the GBA, right? It's the original.
Yeah, there is.
There's Fire
There-
Emblem.
There's Fire
and
Emblem, which is
I
the
started
7th
that.
game.
Yeah, the original one.
That's what I
Sacred
bought.
Stones,
I
yeah.
bought that on the. I remember buying that on the Wii U eShop. But Sacred Stones, I think, is the game after it, and I never bought that one.
You
Oh,
still
yeah.
can. You
Terrell,
still
you'd
can
love
buy
that
it.
game. It's so good.
You still can.
I literally,
You
man.
had to, you had to be an ambassador to get that game.
Probably get it on
Yeah.
Steam Deck.
And I didn't. In the,
What'd you say?
Probably get
Oh,
it on
yeah,
Steam Deck.
oh yeah, Juice, did you put in?
Oh yeah, you
Juice,
can get everything you want on that bit.
Juice, did you put in your pre-order for the Steam Deck, man?
No.
So you ain't put. Come on, man.
It is. I mean, if you want to put in the effort and try to figure out, emulating is not as easy as. It's really hard because no one wants to get their channel taken down, so it's hard to find out like where to download the actual ROMs. You can get the
Yeah.
emulators easily.
Out, man.
It ain't that hard.
For Wii U, it is because it's changed since I did it, so I don't even. I'd have to obviously. You can find it on forums or something.
I don't emulate up to that point.
But yeah, the older games I think.
I go to PS3 so that's as far as I go.
But I will say,
He stays safe.
just seeing what games people are been able to play, and how did definitely don't install Windows. That's a unanimous.
No.
But Digital Foundry did some tests because some games actually work using through Windows. And
Everything will work.
It works,
doesn't work on
but
Steam, yeah.
not everything is. It's like the sacrifice isn't worth having losing
Right,
all the
it ain't
cool
great.
features of the Steam OS. But like they were testing like Flight Simulator, which doesn't work normally through the Windows.
It's because it has DRM. That's
yeah,
why.
the security whatever.
It's DRM games that won't work on Steam Deck.
And it was surprising. I mean, it was almost Series S level
Wow.
performance and visuals. Like I was impressed. I mean, battery life's not going to be great, but it was damn impressive. I got to say. They even did like the Quake 2 with full ray tracing, which I didn't think it looked as good, but of course they're blowing it up off the Steam. But so I mean, it can do ray tracing and everything. I was like, damn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like-
don't forget the size of the Steam Deck. You got a decent chunky ass laptop in a portable device there.
Yeah.
That's how you gotta look at it.
This is
So,
what I'm trying to tell you. If I get excited about something, because it takes a lot for me to get excited about some shit. If I'm excited, it's probably gonna be lit. It's probably gonna because people are because I think Juice was the first one to even put the Steam Deck on my radar. Like I wasn't even paying attention. Juice brought it up, and I think in the chat, and I was like, "Oh, that looks."
The first
that looks
thing I
hitty."
noticed was I didn't
That looks
I don't like the
bulky,
button layout. And I
Yeah, that
still
shit don't look right. I'm like, that
Still
ain't gonna do too well. Then I started seeing testimonials of people who actually had it in their hand. It's like, oh, this feels great. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. And I just started paying attention and reading stuff and watching videos, and I'm like, this thing is gonna be pretty awesome. And a lot of people wanted. I feel like a lot of people just want to dismiss it, just outright as something like the Steam machines, which is completely different. They want to think, oh, it's not going to do well. It's going to do very well. Once they hit like mass market, it's going to do very well. I mean, it's already doing well as is. I mean, you can't if you were to go in and log in and try to get one, you probably won't see one until 2023. Like you won't. Like if you ain't got one by now, so if you ain't have your reservation by now, And Valve they're saying already the millions. They're not talking. People thought it was going to be a niche product. It's not going to be. It's not niche. It's not going to be niche. So
I wonder if they could,
saying.
if manufacturing issues weren't going on. I wonder what it potentially could have done at launch and stuff. But
yeah, I'm still skeptical. About its, breaking the mass market. Obviously, it's going to break the gamers market. Quite easily.
yeah, will it
But
be
let's
better than Wii
see.
U? I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see if it can break the mass market, because it's kind of like how we look back at like the the PSP and stuff like that. Like it's not that you never want these devices there. It's always that Nintendo shoulder, right? But then you look back at the sales, and the PSP and stuff still sold crazy fucking well.
So 8 million copies.
It's just
8 million systems.
People love handheld gaming. So if you get another device now which offers access to your PC library for the most part, and also lets you mess around, why wouldn't it be a success, especially from a company who basically saved PC gaming?
Well, people look at it.
Valve did save PC gaming with Steam. It was done.
I think people are looking at the other devices that are similar, and they're like discounting it. But again, those devices are 3 times as expensive for one. They're not even close.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the Steam Deck performs better than most of them. I think 1 or 2 of them have better performance.
See you,
but the
Donnie.
thing is, it's the difference is Steam. Like that gives you the quote unquote console experience on the deck, right? So where Iron Neo or something like that, you get
Windows.
I mean,
right?
it's just a computer. You load it up and it's Windows and shit, right? Like, and a lot of people don't want to deal with that. And again, not everything's gonna be perfect on a Steam Deck. On what do they call the?
Well, it sounds like there's
OS.
What's confusing
Linux.
people is the 3. There's like a menu system on the left, then there's a menu on the right, and then the in-game menus like are complete separate at this point. So it's that's one of the minor complaints. People are like, well, I couldn't remember where this setting was. Is it in the Steam OS setting? Is it in the games? Like somebody was like, they showed and it was like, oh, it was down here in the right button when that takes you to a menu system, and it was there. Like stuff like that they can fix over time and make that.
And that's another thing. Steam is fucking Valve is on the money, on point with updating this thing. This thing gets 3, 4, 5 updates a week because they are paying attention to the community, unlike that other guy over there, who still don't have Netflix on his system yet. They are updating it constantly.
Yeah, I understand that. The other guy over there has still sold over 100 million, consoles. So when I'm talking about the mass market, when you look at the Steam Deck as a device, for the mass market, this is the difference between the Switch and Steam Deck. The Switch as a device, just as a concept, is instantly more appealing, which is why it sold so well. As a massive device. So when you have more of a hardcore device like the Steam Deck, yeah, you're gonna break into that gamer crowd, yeah. But is Timmy's mum going to buy him the Steam Deck over something like a Nintendo Switch? This is what we need to see. So what I'd like to see is, obviously Valve, they need to get their like you said, it'd be great to see if they were able to produce as many consoles as they could. Where would it go? And this isn't a this is not a wall against Valve can take over the world. If they can do it, that's fucking great. Let's get another portal device. Let's get this portal device out there, and it'd be great. But I just, as it is now, as a concept, as a device, I'm just still unsure about the big mass market.
I don't get the competition thing, because it's like, well, what does it have to sell 100 million to be? Because we all have a Wii U, and that bitch didn't sell but 13 million. Is that considered mass market?
We're talking about them. No, it's not mass market. The Wii U was a commercial failure.
Yeah, I would
no,
say
but
the
what I'm
Steam
saying
Deck,
is, what is it going to take for it to be like a mass market thing for you? Like, what is it? how many sale? What is it going to take?
In today's gaming sphere, which has grown immensely now, compared to if we look back to like the Saturn days and stuff like that, that gaming scene was still very very small, but today, as these devices, I would expect it to push past what I would consider the broad gaming base, right? Which is everyone from Nintendo crowd, from PC crowd, from maybe Sony and Xbox crowd, right? All these gamers who decide to get this extra device, and if they all chip in and decide to go, okay, yeah, we're gonna get a new piece of hardware to sell, to buy this new piece of hardware, then yeah, I'd be expecting 50, 60 million.
I would say anything over 10 million would be probably a success for
That's
Valve.
what I'm thinking. I'm
No,
like,
it's not about it being a success.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is a success already.
I get what you're saying.
It's about breaching the mass
I'm just
market,
telling
and
you
the
where
mass
I
market
think.
includes, as we know, the mass market is beyond our 10 million Nintendo fans, which we learned about
And
with
the
the Wii
Vita.
U,
So
and,
what,
and,
10?
and the Vita and stuff. We need to go past that gaming sphere into the mass market, who got the Switch over 100 million, who got the PlayStation 2 over 155 million. We're talking about the mass market. That's whether it matters or not, if it breaches the mass market or not. It could comfortably, I'm sure Valve could happily
it doesn't matter
sit
to me.
there and sell 30 million Steam Decks and be completely content with that unit and that amount and be super successful. Yeah, I'm sure that's something that's absolutely fine. I'm not against that. All I'm saying is, if you are going to continue, in this sphere to make that dent, then you have to try and get that additional mass marketing. That's why I'm interested to see if they can pull off or not.
Oh, I personally don't care about that. I mean, I just wanted to do well enough to where we're going to make a Steam Deck 2 and that kind of thing. That's where I'm coming in at, like,
Yeah.
and the fact that they are going to continue to update the OS and keep making that better and make more games playable. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and that's all we cared about when we owned our Wii U's. We just like, I fuck everyone else. I'm loving my Wii U. I wanted to keep on going, with games and all that stuff. It's not
Well,
it's
you
not
want it to
about
get to a point.
it's just the interest. It's just the interest to see if Valve can be what we would call, or what a lot of people want, a Nintendo Beta in that.
Well, my only prediction is that it won't be a niche thing. It will sell multi-millions of units, and it will do well. And I think they'll continue to make iterations on it.
And you would hope it do well enough that game developers would actually put in a little time to make sure that it works,
optimize their game
well
for it
on the Steam Deck. That would be the dream, to make sure that all the games like Elden Ring, they just take some time. All right, let's make sure that it runs good. Let's do what we got to do. Work with Valve to get these games running good on the system, so you don't have to worry about
right.
what would be a big third party game coming down the road.
That's
and
another
by the way,
I would love if we could track that data as well. I'd love if we could track that data as well, to see if people were buying games on Steam specifically to play them on Steam Deck. Now Valve will know when these games were first booted up on, if they were first booted up on a Steam Deck, or if they were first booted up on a PC.
But I think
as an
the
example.
appeal is that you can buy it on Steam and you can play it on the go, and then just like the Switch, instead of I think there's going to be a decent percentage.
Yeah, but what I'm
they're
saying
not going to
is,
plug in the
if
Steam
you're
Deck to play it on a desk. They're going to just play it on the computer.
if you're talking about having these games optimized specifically with the Steam Deck in mind as well, developers need to know that people are buying their games with the Steam Deck in mind.
Or
otherwise, they might as well just keep them for
they're just playing
just the PC and stuff.
I don't think too many people are just going to buy games just for their Steam Deck. I think they just need to see that people are playing a good chunk of the game on the Steam Deck. Because I was saying, I think more people that are going to have a PC, kind of like me or Robert or Terrell, that are kind of, theirs are better than mine, but a decently capable machine, well, I want to play games on the go. I'm not going to plug my Steam Deck in to my computer monitor. I'm just going to play on my PC when I want to play at home, and I'm going to play on the Steam Deck when I want to play on the go. I think a lot of people are going to be in that camp more so than
Yeah,
the
a lot of
T
people are
situation.
already, a lot of people are and were already in that camp with the Nintendo Switch. That's why people were loving the idea of having Skyrim on a Switch, having Doom on a Switch, having Wolfenstein. People love to have these games in portable. It's
Yeah.
only until now, in recent years, where people are like, "Oh man, the Switch is struggling, man. This piece of hardware can't even fucking run this properly," and all this, which is why they're all excited about the Steam Deck. All I'm saying is, it'd be great, just great to know these numbers to say, okay, I'm downloading that game on Steam, right? Because I specifically want to play this on my Steam Deck in portable mode, just like people bought Diablo on the Switch. Yeah, I bought Diablo. That's the only third-party fucking game I got on the Switch. Right, Diablo 3. Because I just wanted to
Really?
play it
That's it?
in port. That's the only
I
one.
went from 40 Steam games to 150 because I'm looking at playing them on my Steam Deck. That was the
Yeah,
reason
so
for me.
that's great. You can tell me that. All I'm saying is,
Well,
if
you're
if we
asking for,
want
I'm
to see,
giving
if we
you
want
an
to see,
example of a person
yeah.
a
So if
person
we want
that
to see
a
that
couple of years ago
drive,
didn't even care about Steam like that.
yeah, if we want to see that drive for developers to optimize these games for the Steam Deck with the Steam Deck in mind, yeah, so we get a better Steam Deck with better games optimized for that system. I'm just saying I'm interested. It'd be great to know these numbers on a broader scale. We need like those type of lists, maybe a list on if Valve went on thing. Did you decide to buy Elden Ring for your PC or for Steam Deck? And then see like the votes and stuff like that to see, you know, what people reply to that. It'd just be interesting to know, because then you start going, oh wait there, people really are buying this game now on Steam first and foremost with the Steam Deck in mind. And then Namco goes, oh, okay, fine, let's create our games with the Steam Deck in mind as well, because we're gonna get those extra sales now because people are interested in having it on this portable device.
See, my thing is, okay, the Switch is special because of Nintendo games, but I think it didn't sell special only because of Nintendo games. I think it sold special because people today are
portable.
moving,
Yeah.
and they want to play console quality games on the
Mhm.
go. I just think anybody who would have came out at that time would have done really well if they had that kind of device. And Nintendo just happened to be the guy who did it, the company that did it. And so I think we're in the era right now of people just wanting. Because I see dudes all the time. I watch a ton of videos. I see dudes all the time talking about, man, I can't play games like I used to. I got 5 kids, I got 6 kids, and 7. Like I can't play the way I used to. This little device, and I'm talking about Nintendo Switch, allows me to play more games because I can't sit in my man cave and do like I used to. And for people who want to play again, like high quality games, and we hear it all the time. And, I mean, how many Switch Pro, 4K Switch? We hear this shit all the time, and yet when this device comes out and there's all these caveats, I'm like, wait a minute, this is what everybody's been crying about. Everybody's been wanting a more powerful
Switch Pro would be lucky to even come close to Steam Deck.
Right, and that's why I'm confused. I'm confused, especially from Nintendo fans who've been whining about Switch Pro since 2018. To be looking at the Steam Deck like, what's that? That don't look viable to me. Like, what? What are you talking about? This is what you've been asking for. Obviously, sans Nintendo games, but technically you can play those too. But like,
So
that's
Robert,
what I'm
didn't you
confused
pre-order
about.
one?
Yeah.
What's your plan for the Steam Deck?
I'm gonna play games with it. I'm gonna play portable shit. I'm never
But you're
gonna.
not-
Obviously, I have no reason to dock it. But
That's
like,
what I was gonna ask you. You're not gonna dock it because it just
no,
has cloud
never.
saves, so you don't.
There's not gonna be one chance that I'm ever gonna dock it. But
I
like,
no longer have a, other than my mid to low tier laptop, I no longer have a PC to game on. So I will be docking mine occasionally. And that's the thing about the Switch that I was really excited about too, because you guys remember me talking about, oh man, it's cool to have all these PC games coming to Switch, and I like the fact that a lot of them have cross saves and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's great. especially like The Witcher. I love playing The Witcher with
Mhm.
cross saves because I can go from my Switch to my PC and playing it. And now, like, I don't even have to compromise.
You don't have to buy a
basically.
second copy.
I don't have to buy. Yeah, I don't have to buy a second copy and compromise it. That's another thing that excites me too. So, I think there's a lot of markets that haven't really been tapped into when it comes to portable gaming and what
I agree with Nick though.
at this price.
He says when you start seeing Steam Decks at Walmart and stuff, then you know that it's gotten to a place. Maybe he said mass market, but I think if they could just get them in the stores and you actually can just walk into a store and buy them, I think that would be a big step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Not just relying on waiting on pre-orders for a year at this point, because Robert, I mean, I just brought it up. You don't seem like to have anything to say to this conversation. Are you excited at all for your Steam Deck or what?
I mean, it's one of those things where I just, I love games, and so I want to at least have the hardware. But
It's new tech.
yeah, it's new tech. I enjoy that shit. I'm picking up a play date and picking. I like all that shit. So it's like, so it's
Don't
like.
worry about it. Don't ask too much into it, T. Don't worry about it.
No, he knows the play
I know
date.
what he's talking about. He's talking about the little handheld device.
The crank.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
why.
you didn't know
Yeah.
he was talking
So
about
you
that.
just want?
No, I didn't. I did not.
You didn't have like a plan or like T, like, oh man, I'm gonna be able to play more PC games now because I can be able to play them at work.
Exactly. That's my big
Is
thing.
that your goal?
No, I mean, not really.
You just want to have it so you can say you have the Steam
I'm
Deck.
gonna have no. I'm gonna
I got
actually
it.
play it like
New
I'm gonna play it
tech,
like
Juice.
I'm gonna play it like
It's
at
new
work.
tech.
I'm gonna play it. Obviously, I'll be playing it at work for sure. But like in terms of just like I don't know, I'll be like I said playing at work and playing at trips. It'll be another portable handheld for me. So that's I'm not thinking too much into it. It's another portable handheld that I'll play PC games on. That I have my Steam library.
It's a pretty expensive purchase.
And it's still a
kinda-
pretty it's
That's
still
all right.
it's still in its own field. It's still a pretty unique device in the sense that no games, even though we talked about optimized games, no games are being made for the Steam Deck. And Valve has said no, we're not doing that. It's not a device where you'll be going into the store and picking a game off the shelf or even downloading a Steam Deck unique game for itself. Valve are not letting developers make games just for the Steam Deck. You have access to an already established PC library of games that you can now play portably, and it's a unique device in that way, which is why I think it calls to gamers so much, especially gamers like us and stuff. It calls to us so much because we already have these libraries of games, and like T said, it's great now to actually just not worry about double paying for games and stuff like that. Whatever, it could sit in its own field. But like I said, I'm making it sound like I'm against the Steam Deck. I'm not against it at all. I'd fucking love one. I can't afford one. I'd love one. But I just right now I cannot see it being a mass market device in the same competition level as where Nintendo is right now.
Well, I also personally, for me, I can't imagine it hitting mass market either. Like in terms of that,
But the thing
honestly,
is, if
for
it
for a
does,
major thing is just the price. Like I know,
I hate saying this because it's sort of like cliche. If it does, then great.
yeah,
We got another successful games hardware on the market, which is
Be
what we
cool.
all fucking want.
And that push
But then-
Nintendo.
I'll just leave it
Yeah.
at we will see.
yeah.
honestly,
And
I'd
we'll
be-
see.
I hope-
There's
I
not
hope
going to
it
be
sells
there's not
100
going to
million
be
or something,
any I told you so here. This is such a unique concept and such a specific concept for a specific crowd. I don't know. This whole
I'll
mass
say
market
that-
thing makes me sound like I'm
Let me
like
say
it needs
this.
to be there to be important. It doesn't. But just in terms of the device that it is, I suppose I would like it to reach the reach the mass market because it is a great concept, especially as a gaming device. It is a great concept. It's already got a great library and stuff, and you could do a lot of dodgy stuff with it, which I'm against. We could all joke about it's like people like doing Metroid Prime 4K and stuff like that, showing off on Twitter. Look, man, doing what Nintendo and doing stuff like that. But we're still
You can do that on PC. Like I don't know why is that.
Yeah, I know.
Why is so many people like? Because that's what Ayers is saying. Oh, they're gonna be pirating. Like if they're gonna pirate, they're already doing it on their PC.
Yeah, it's not
They
like
don't
it's
need-
gonna increase the amount of pirating to an
it's gonna
extent.
extend pirating or something. It's just another.
No, it's not gonna. It's not. I hate. I suppose I hate the extra ammunition, the extra fuel, when people are pirating essentially modern stuff or even older stuff that at least at one point was still on sale. As soon as our Wii U eShop closes down and you can't get a Prime Trilogy anymore, which is going to be soon, and Nintendo don't offer it to you, then fine, get it any way you fucking can.
Well, I feel like if I bought it already, I can do whatever I want to do.
Well, here's the thing people aren't realizing. The reason that these videos are popping up now, people showing Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch or on the Steam Deck, is because people are paying attention to it because it's on the Steam Deck, and they're like, all right, look at what a Metroid Prime and a portable could be. There's been Metroid Prime.
If it came to Switch,
Dolphin
This is not new.
videos on the internet, on YouTube for how many fucking years? 10 years? 12 years?
Right, on Dolphin
Just
emulator.
look up
Like
Dolphin emulator Metroid Prime, and
It's not new.
there's been videos for a decade.
Yeah.
So it's not, the only thing new is they're like, well, Switch is popular. Here's this brand new Steam Deck, and here's me playing Metroid Prime on it. Like, it's not anything new. It's not like, people are acting like it's just some new crazy thing that people all of a sudden pirating. Is like, no, this has been happening forever. Now they're just, the relevance is Steam Deck and there's a Switch, and Switch doesn't have these games, and Nintendo isn't bringing these games, and this person got it on Steam Deck. Like,
It's a portable PC with controller inputs.
and they're showing the gyro works with the tilting.
Yeah.
You're not. You don't have to be impressed, but I find that just impressive as hell that somebody was able to make that work with the gyro and shit on the Steam Deck already. Like, that shit to me was cool, just from a tech standpoint.
That was cool.
I saw the video. I thought it looked fucking great, and we've seen tons of stuff like that. I suppose, like I said, all it is I suppose it just maybe I just grow into hatred. Let me finish. Maybe I just grow into hatred for the whole console war. We live in these Twitter streets, don't we? The YouTube streets. It just feeds into your fucking brain all the time. I just like.
Here, look, can you pirate games on Switch right now? Can you load all kinds of shit to the Switch and do whatever you want, or not whatever you want?
You can do that
a
on
lot
all
of
three consoles.
illegal things.
You can.
You can do that on all three consoles.
How many people do it?
Not many.
Who knows?
It's not easier on Steam Deck, I'll tell you that. So, what is this fear? I don't understand this fear. If people aren't doing it crazy on the Switch, which they can do,
You can do some really cool stuff on the Switch.
you can do some actually really cool stuff. You can get backgrounds and all kinds of shit.
themes. You could have all this
Themes,
custom
right.
UI, all this really cool stuff, but
So
nobody
if-
really
if-
does it. Like
Nobody's
small
doing it on Switch. Why are they
percentage.
going to all of a sudden go crazy and do it on the Steam Deck? I don't understand.
It's just a very that's a niche crowd right there. Is the
That's
emulating
niche.
crowd.
Yeah, I definitely need to get away from it because it does amazing.
But it doesn't bother me whatsoever because there's just so many reasons. The main reason is that, like, Nintendo, all these companies, these games are just, the digital ones especially, they're just gone. Like, these stores shut down, they're gone. Like, what are you supposed to, like, it's preservation on that level, but at the same time, it's just, if somebody wants to do it, they want to risk downloading illegal stuff to a site where you could get a virus or something, like, that's up to them. I don't really care. Like, I'm not anti pirating of old games like that, or because it's now if they're like, oh my god, Nintendo's going out of business because everybody's pirating their games, then I'd be mad. I'd be upset.
Running Switch games on the Steam Deck, that's bullshit. Don't do that shit. Like that's not
but
cool.
It's not making a dent into the sales of games.
yeah,
It's not
even
hurting
then,
Nintendo, they're not going to go out of business. It's not. People aren't choosing to.
But we complain. We still complain about this stuff. We even complained about it when Metroid Dread, when Kotaku and stuff like that. Why is it okay for us to complain about when Kotaku run an article saying, oh, you could already get Metroid Dread on PC and stuff, but then let us
for shit. That's why we want more
why?
Metroid
I didn't
games. And if,
complain about it. I just said it was pretty dumb of them to like promote emulation in the article as being such a big, one of the
That
last few
was
big
still
journeys.
a big news story, right?
It was because I mean,
Yeah.
Everyone jumped on that because at the end of the day, you're still pirating a game that Nintendo is selling, and it's just because it was Metroid Dread, and it's just like, oh, a Metroid franchise
Yeah,
is
but
dead.
it'd
The
be
game
the
doesn't
yeah,
same
that's like
sell.
20
It's fucking
guys.
finished.
Do you think anybody who loves Metroid doesn't have a Switch and not playing on a Switch? Of course they are. Most people, I guarantee you, 99% of people who want Metroid are playing it, or wanted Metroid Dread are playing it on a damn Switch.
Yeah,
I
it was
guarantee.
just irresponsible for a big publication to like
Yeah, it's super
to
irresponsible. I'm
like
surprised
promote this
that they would
emulation
do
and
that.
almost encourage it. Like that's where I think the problem was. It's like,
Yeah, that's
if it was just Joe
and the fact
Blow
that Metroid games
YouTuber,
don't sell well. We've waited for eons to get in a new one, and this is what you put your best foot forward, showing pirating of the game day one. Like that's not cool.
Yeah.
We want more Metroid games. That's why we all got kind of been out of shape about it.
I was
If anything.
yeah, I don't
I suppose
remember.
I've always been pretty good with if I have emulated anything, I either own it, or the
Yeah,
only other
yeah,
way for me to
same.
get it would be to like buy it secondhand on eBay or something, because there is no other way to sell it. I suppose I've always just been pretty good with that. And
And you're not the minority of emulators. You're in the majority of emulators. People who emulate.
Well, then you
That's
got
what the majority do.
yeah. There's definitely guys. I think I don't know for sure. I don't know. Alex Prime. Pretty sure he was in emulation. I don't know if he is or not. 100%.
I
But
think
the
he does.
guy used to.
Yeah, I know he does some
There
of
was a
it. Yeah.
guy, Unforgiven. That's all he did. He's a PC only, emulation only guy, and it's like we didn't see eye to eye in a lot of ways. I haven't seen him in the chat in a long time, probably even almost a year. He used to always be in the podcast. And I chatted with a few times. The dude is so diehard, everything PC, playing all his Switch and all his Nintendo games on PC through emulation and pirating. And I was just like, I gotta, I don't care, but if that's all you're about, then we don't have much to talk about because I'm just not
Nope.
into that. You know,
Mhm.
like I did it for Breath of the Wild because I wanted to play his damn Zelda mod, and it just won't work on my computer. There's some file somewhere in a folder that's just not letting that happen. I'd have to probably reboot my entire Windows and delete all, not use my old hard drive and maybe get it to work. I did it just for that, and I still haven't finished the game.
Yeah, but we only dogged you about that because we're joking about the jiggly wigglies and stuff. But at the end of the day,
The
you would
jiggly
still already bought Breath of the Wild.
I already had
Right.
300 hours
so.
on
We didn't give you
Switch.
shit for that because we knew you
Yeah.
bought the fucking game and you played the shit out of it.
Unless I said I would have never, as my first playthrough, I would have never played with the alternate colors and contrast settings people were messing with to try to like clean up the image and whatever. Like I would never played that on my first playthrough. Like, but
Yeah.
some
You
people
did
do.
that because you love the fucking game so much. You used like, all right, I beat it this way. Let me see what it looks like over
There's
here.
dudes who actually only way they played it was with the cell shading turned off, with like all the colors all altered and stuff. I'm like, man, like, I mean, it's your opinion or your whatever you want to do, you can do. But I just find that to me is like crazy. But
Yeah, I suppose like I said, in terms of like what people are buying the Steam games for, some stats like that I am interested in. It was kind of like when when Nintendo showed off how many people were playing in portable mode or docked mode, or a bit of both, and it was just interesting to see that balance between how people were playing the Nintendo Switch, as a device was.
they even tell you that on the year-end review.
I'm definitely emulating.
It was more balanced than I thought.
I'm gonna emulate, but I don't emulate stuff like I'm not interested in. You know what I'm saying? If I'm interested in it, it's because I bought it, I played it. So my emulation, as far as my Steam Deck is gonna go, it's probably gonna be PS2, which is a lot of games that I own. Those are the games. It's just that it's not my PS2 and I guess PSP in a way, aren't comfortably. I'm not able to comfortably play them, right now. Because you hook up a PS2 to a HD TV and it looks like PS Poo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It
God.
it don't look great, right? And
Yeah.
the same thing goes for my PSP. And again, both of those systems I have over 100 games for, and that's what I'm going to be emulating, the games that I end up
And
playing.
Tell
I
me if
like
this
to
is
play.
true for you. Well, you're different than me. I don't go back and play like old games. Like I don't play them on the regular. Like every once in a while, I'll get the hankering to hook up my N64, play a few games, 5-10 minutes each for about an hour, then I box it back up for another 5.
Yeah.
You know, that's my experience with retro gaming. So if I was to emulate again, like I downloaded Metroid Fusion, and I intended to play. I probably played an hour of it, and I haven't touched it again. You know, I haven't touched it since. And it was an easy, quick and easy install. I could have so many freaking games, the Game Boy Advance games and stuff. It's just not. That's not my. I'm so preoccupied with like the current games I'm playing. I'm not gonna go back. But
And another thing, I know
like
Pop
that.
is the same. Is I don't like to emulate that often. I don't like to emulate when I have a good viable option to play it on the original hardware. Like I have a great viable option of playing my GameCube games on original hardware. I
We're
have a nice
traditionalists in that way, like you know.
N64.
Yeah, N64. I wouldn't emulate N64 because it's historically trash emulation when you deal with N64. So I wouldn't even do that. But I have a viable way to play it that way and to use that controller. I'm so used to using that controller playing those games. So if I can do it that way, I do it. But even when I do emulate, it's games that I own. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
So did
Let me
anybody
just
see?
clarify. Let me just clarify. I'm not against emulation. You know, at all. You know, I'm not against it at all. I
Yeah.
said if you don't have no option, if you have no other option, emulate the fucking shit out of that game. It's like people.
Yeah, you can't
I'm
find it
in
anywhere
the
else.
Saturn community, and people are emulating and modding and translating all these Japanese Saturn games, right? Which Sega just haven't re-released. Or any of these companies have re-released, and they just gone and done it themselves. Where you're just like, right now you can play this Japanese exclusive game called Bug Slash, and they haven't only fully converted it into English text as
Right.
well. They've done the English voice acting for this fucking
Damn,
game, hired
crazy.
professional voice actors,
It's crazy.
I got you the English version of that game. Just download and play. I'm just like, yo, this is fucking incredible. I love shit like that. You know, I love shit. I wish game companies would do this officially. You know, on top, then you throw your money at them. You're like, yo, take it. But if they don't want to do it, then fuck them. You know, just emulate the shit out of it.
I literally recorded a video about this before we came to the podcast. And it's funny because I was sitting there thinking like as far as like viability, like if it was, you know, I come from a different, you know, background with it because I have a ton of these games that are now hundreds of fucking dollars to get, right? You like I have Fire Emblem on GameCube. I wouldn't feel right telling somebody, hey, yeah, go buy that GameCube copy for fucking $400. Go do that.
Anyone?
No, and
How much is Devil's Third?
Yeah, Devil's Third is like $350. Like
that
I'm not
worth it?
I could tell anybody to do that shit. Like
Hell, fucking no.
Well, and I guess to quickly mention on the emulation, because I probably have emulated more in the last year or so than I had, because like for example, when I play Chrono Trigger, that was the emulated DS version because you can't fucking buy the DS version. Also, there's not an easy way to stream the DS version, so that's emulated. Even the version of Final Fantasy VI I'm playing right now isn't the original version; it's an emulated version of 6. It's a modded version actually.
Or they changed the music.
Yeah, you can change the music to like the orchestral sound. It sounds fucking great. And a couple other like improvements like speed up walks and all that other stuff. But I actually do own that game on Steam.
You could already walk fast in the game.
No, listen. I could do it without buying something. That's all I'm gonna say to you, sir. All right. And what the hell did I emulated something else recently? And Metroid.
So
Because
you're not listening to the
you got a
original
Wii U.
soundtrack?
You went and bought the Wii U version.
It's the same songs but just the orchestra.
And that's funny. It's funny you mentioned the Wii U there because I've gone the polar opposites on that now, and I'm just like, no, don't fucking buy anything on.
Don't buy anything on Wii U or
Don't
3DS.
buy anything on fucking Wii U because they'll come to a point, and I don't think it'll be long where you won't even be able to re-download.
You had
that
all
shit.
these YouTubers saying, hey, games to buy before the shop closes. No, don't buy that shit.
How long before
No.
you won't be able to even re-download it? Ever like
Yeah.
Clocked It
Right,
said.
that's what I'm saying. That's why you don't
Yeah.
buy that shit.
When you know situations like that are gonna be evident, don't waste your fucking money. You know?
All right, so I want Robert and Terrell to have a discussion about this music in Final Fantasy VI situation. So,
What the hell?
That's so tough, man.
because Robert, you
Yeah,
made a
it's-
big deal about that music in your back of the
I
backlog.
fucking love
yeah.
that music, and it's tough because like I can't imagine, playing the game with Super Nintendo graphics and everything, and having an orchestral
Isn't a
soundtrack.
Now listen,
official-
listen, listen,
is it an
listen,
official
alright.
Square orchestra
Alright, no.
from a recording, or some fan made it?
Yeah, is
So-
it? Is
I
it like from
think
Square?
I think it's officially from Square.
You
So,
think? So you don't even know.
I'm not 100% sure. No, I'm not. I'm be real with you.
Whoa.
Now to give you context, because I'm not done with the game. I think I did the Opera House sequence, and then I'm trying. What I mean, everyone else either has played it or doesn't care. I think I just finished
Fantasy
this.
6, you said?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
I just finished the section where you lose Celeste for a little bit
Okay.
after you get Tara back after her little episode, and you get a bunch of new not summons, what are they
Espers.
called? Espers.
Come on, now, keep up, son. Keep up.
Sorry, fuck, man. Depending which Final Fantasy game I'm playing depends on what the fuck I'm dealing with. Also, Kingdom Hearts had summons, and that was the last game I played.
Okay.
That's where I'm at in the game, and some of that music for me was just, it's so good. Now, but here's the thing, respectfully, I have yet to listen to the original score for it, so I won't
Dude,
say. I'm not gonna make I'm not gonna make the claim that it's better, but it's really fucking good.
See, Juice asked me this as well.
I
And he
asked
said,
what
Collector,
Collector
how
thought
are you
of
gonna
it.
feel about this? And you know what? I gotta put it behind me now. I'm just like, you know what? People are gonna play these days now. The way
I'm
they
just
want
like
to play these
imagining
fucking
though,
games now, right?
even on Spotify. Like I'll be in my car listening to the Super Nintendo music and just
Yeah.
hearing the dun, 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 and just the way they have like it's
Now that's still there.
No, but it's probably dun, dun, I don't know. It's like a different.
Yeah, but like there's a level of
Just-
triumphance that
yeah, but the triumphance with the way they made it on Super Nintendo was fucking mind blowing, bro.
But
Like
he
it's,
doesn't. That's what I mean. Don't.
can't-
I don't want to hear anything from you, Rob. Okay, I don't want to hear anything.
why? Because of
Epona
Epona?
don't
Fuck
wanna
off,
hear
yeah.
shit
But
from
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
God.
You've ruined everything. But this is
Oh.
On the
it.
ins-
People
or on the
now,
Wii U.
people now will play these retro games as they see fit. And I've just learned. I'm just like, you know what? I just gotta accept it, man.
Yeah, but come on, hold
I
on.
mean,
hold on.
even- I mean, like, all right, well, here's
Wait
my
a
thing.
second,
Wait,
wait a
wait,
second.
wait,
Fuck it. I didn't
All right,
play.
let me
I didn't
ask
play
you this.
Ocarina of Time with a different soundtrack. It was Ocarina of Time, just
With a
on
different
All right,
Wii
but
U.
let me
controller,
ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Their
Glock.
controller. That's
Let me ask you
it's
this.
the same
Glock.
controls.
Would you feel the same way towards Chrono Trigger since I played the DS version instead of the original? What was it, Super Nintendo, right?
What a Chrono Trigger?
Well,
Yeah. Because I played the
I
DS.
would say so because it's the official. That was
No,
like
wait,
literally the
wait.
DS.
Wait,
And
are
also
you
it's
talking
the-
about
it's the same game.
what's your argument with Chrono Trigger here? What,
No, no, no,
that,
I'm
that
saying-
it's got the CGI intro, or that you
No,
got some
no,
extra
no, no.
dungeons?
I'm saying, does it have to be the original version of the
Does it have-
game? Is what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
no, because
no,
the
no,
soundtrack is still
no.
the same for
Is it
Chrono
improved at
Trigger
all
on
on
DS.
the DS? Or is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's not. They didn't change
They
the
didn't
the
re-record
soundtrack.
it.
Like, they didn't- no,
Oh, the FMVs on DS?
Yeah.
apparently,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
the
is.
CGI intro is there. That was.
But that's why it's like obviously
Yeah,
it's
so-
fine, but like I would at least recommend to listen to the soundtrack too.
Oh no, I have no problem to listen to the soundtrack. The problem
Because-
is when you look at some of these old Square games, like the old Final Fantasies, there are literal video series, and I will link them later, of people being like, which version of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 or 7 through 10?
Wait,
or
you have a
where-
Super Nintendo Classic, right?
Yeah, I
Or
do.
no?
Yeah, I do.
Bro, that was like to me that's like the perfect way to play it. So
Hey,
literally,
look,
you have your
yeah.
Super Nintendo controller. It's as close
save
as
states.
together.
It's classic,
save
bro.
states, all that shit, yo.
You know,
It's
but
like you would-
it's
Wow.
not like
say
he's
that
gonna hear the
classic.
music because he's got lightning flapping his mouth.
Oh.
all the time,
No, I
so-
wouldn't even. He
Bro,
was
like
only,
like
was-
legit. I mean, like,
Do you
dude,
play
like,
it
it's
at
some of the-
all
Is the
off stream?
Wait, say it-
Do you play?
No.
I would love
But I
to.
also don't have someone in the
Is-
call every
Do
time.
you know if Chrono Trigger for DS is it the port of the PlayStation 1 version?
No, apparently
No,
it's
it's
a,
not. It's not
No.
a port of the PS1 version. It's a unique version for the DS, so you can
Oh,
use.
is it unique? Okay.
It's
Yeah,
got
it's
both
unique.
screens.
It has dual screens and everything.
You can have the UI just as normal, like the SNES on the top screen if you wanted, or have all the UI on the bottom screen and keep the top screen. I've got
Yeah,
it.
here's the
Okay.
thing that jumps out to me though. You got this orchestrated music, but then you got 16-bit sound effects. That just seems like I was just trying to picture the original Zelda game. Insert like the 25th.
But for some reason, it doesn't bother me at all. Like I never
have your as you're
I
shooting your
need you
sword.
to find out. I need you to find out if that's from officially from Square though. I need you to find out if it's officially from
You
Square.
should right now. We should live
I'll
on
look-
air.
I'll
You
look
should
it up.
listen to the original music from the Super.
Yeah, I
NES.
mean, in that respect, though, I mean, Nintendo still do that. I mean, you can just think about Mario Odyssey when it goes on a 2D plane. It's still got the same jump noise as the original Super Mario Bros. And stuff when he jumps.
It doesn't cut
While
to
you've
like
got
an
all
8-bit
this-
music.
I wanted to mention this earlier, but it's getting late now.
Yeah.
Before we got into the Steam Deck woods of the weeds, I guess.
I think that was my fault.
Because we are a Nintendo podcast mostly, right? And there's a big Nintendo thing we haven't been talking about, and that is the possible remake by Bandai Namco of a
Oh, that's right. We didn't think of
classic
that.
Nintendo game. We haven't even talked about that.
What was
shit.
it? A 3D action
What
adventure?
do you think it is, and what do you want it to be?
Well, didn't it specify like a
Listen,
3D?
if
3D
retro,
action
if retro,
game,
Yeah,
if
3D
retro
action.
is
Sorry,
here,
so
if
it's likely
3D
of the.
I know it's 3D action,
Or it's
but
like
if
of the
retro is
GameCube
here,
Beyond or
yeah.
and Beyond era.
If he was here, he'd be screaming Baton Kaitos, but obviously it is an RPG.
That's an
That's not
RPG.
3D action.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what he'd
Oh,
be
that's what you
screaming. It
want.
wouldn't matter.
That's what you want.
But in terms of 3D action, obviously,
Nintendo IP.
people.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo
Apparently,
IP.
apparently.
This is just it's just a rumor, right? Or is this? Yeah. It's
Well,
just a
no,
rumor.
no, they were hiring.
They're hired.
Like it's like a job. Like they have like job
Okay.
listings.
Yeah, they're
for it.
hiring. This is a
right,
real
okay.
thing. This is happening.
Okay, it's a real thing.
And
I
but
don't know.
that's why
I mean,
like
I've seen a lot of Kid Icarus stuff.
Kid Icarus
floating
Uprising,
around.
yeah, a lot of Kid Icarus Up, and then also a Star
Let me
Fox
give-
Assault.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Star Fox Assault makes the most sense because, well, I really want it. That's why. But because Namco actually made Star Fox Assault on
That's right.
GameCube, and so it would make
Yeah.
sense for Bandai Namco to make Star Fox Assault remake or whatever. And
I suppose you
that
could
game
throw
would
it in a
really
3D
benefit
action.
from a remake because it was almost there. I know a lot of people complain. The one big problem with it was the foot stuff. But if they could fix that up with control wise and kind of conceptually, like Star Fox
think
Assault
that's-
is where
that's
Star Fox needed to
because-
be going.
How many levels
And,
did they have? Like
that
when
would
you
be
were in the
amazing.
R-wing?
Who was rumored to be working on Metroid Prime 4 initially?
Bandai.
Bandai Namco.
So what if would Metroid Prime be considered an action game?
That's another one people are talking about. Maybe it's Metroid Prime.
Other
But
M?
here's the thing. It's what's funny to
I
me
guess, yeah.
because I pay
That would
attention to everybody and what
that
they're
would
talking
soften the
about.
blow, wouldn't it? If they did actually get rid of them, that would soften the blow to say, fine, we'll get these guys to do Prime 4 if you could just remake this for us.
People are discounting that it's a Metroid Prime 1 remake because we all know that they already made the trilogy.
It's
They're
already
just
ready.
waiting for. There's already a remaster of the trilogy.
Emily
for
Rogers
Metroid
been
Prime.
saying since 2018.
They talk about it like it's a real thing that we know that's happening. So it can't be that because we all know our sources have all told us
That's
for
what
the last 5 years that game is
That's
a
how
real
I feel
deal.
about the Last of Us remake. Like people say it like it's just a real thing and it's coming out. Like they've been saying it for what 6 months
But
plus.
would
a year plus?
you prefer a single all effort remake of the original Metro Prime, or would you prefer the trilogy? You know, which with
Well, the trilogy would probably be just a remaster then. I don't see
yeah
them
remastered
remaking.
stuff.
I'd rather just have a full-on remake of one game.
Oh, and as Z
Yeah.
pointed out, I wanted to mention that too, was that the multiplayer on Star Fox Assault was dope. Like, imagine that being online.
Mhm.
Oh, My God.
No, see, you're fantasizing about
game
stuff
just
that
writes
that
itself.
we should have had that with Star Fox Zero. So to even think that they
Well,
bring it
yeah.
back to this is
But Miyamoto,
Yeah, he's not big into
he really wanted to
downline.
do something with the gamepad. So
So I've been while you guys I've been looking up the like orchestral soundtrack for Final Fantasy 6. If at least one of my favorite songs is the Edgar and Sabin theme. If that's what it sounds like, hell no, is it as good as the actual Super Nintendo version? But I guess it depends. Like there's other ones that sound real
So Terrell's
good.
been looking at
it,
something.
it
What have you
depends
been
on what
Edgar
Yeah, I
and
mean, I've been
Sabin,
trying to
hell
see-
no.
ones you're looking at.
I'm trying to look at the audio. So apparently, the modded version I'm playing is based off the GBA version, but the GBA version, huh?
oh, I was just saying, aha.
Yeah.
I've
So
got
so the
GBA
modded version is
version.
based off
I
the
could consider it a better version.
Yeah, actually, I think that's why they based the mod off of it. They based the mod off the GBA port because the GBA port was the closest in terms of fixing the script. That's what it was. It was script fixes, and then the music. The music isn't as good because it's the GBA. So I think, from what I'm understanding here, they got the music
makes
from the
sense.
PlayStation. They got the music from the PlayStation version.
Okay, see, I felt like the PlayStation did. That's why I asked you because
That might be
I
what.
remember hearing the PlayStation version being part of it.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's what
so
they
it's
did.
it's
I've
just
got
the
it. I've got it
PlayStation
on
music.
PS1 as
Is it?
well. And
Yeah,
But
because
wouldn't it be
I
the same
couldn't
thing
play
or
it.
no?
It was the loading just for a fucking SNES game on the PS1 was just horrendous. I could not play FF6 on PS1.
oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because the
just-
Game Boy Advance didn't have the sound chip of the Super Nintendo. You know that was
Yeah.
and it wasn't meant. You're supposed to put it in headphones and never have it on speakers or anything. So it didn't need
So it's
to.
not orchestral though.
I can.
Well, on the
That's
Game
the
Boy
only
Advance.
version I have now.
It does sound it sounds
one.
orchestral to me, but it could be.
It's well, it's
No,
a
the-
big
the
difference
PS
between hearing an orchestra and
Hearing
and
a
fucking
16-bit.
PS1 version of FF6
Yeah.
didn't have orchestrated music.
In
So
my
then,
mind,
yeah,
it was
it-
orchestrated because I.
All right, so then
years.
it's the PlayStation music now.
Okay.
Wait, but come on, man!
I was
You
right,
told me you
kinda.
think that sounds like an orchestra? There's
Listen
got to be
to
a
me.
massive
Listen-
difference. I mean, it's got to be a
Listen
massive
to me.
difference.
I was going into it and knowing it wasn't the original. It wasn't the original version, so I was.
So, like, if you listen to the Edgar and Sabin theme,
All right, fine. That's humor it.
because there's if it sounds like that, then you have just the
I
original
just thought
music.
of instead of the box art game, we could play a snippet of a song from a game and try to guess. Play
Yeah,
two
well, we
notes.
definitely should do that.
Two notes. Because we don't want
Two
to play the whole
notes?
song,
Two
because then you'd be
notes.
copyrighted.
Oh, I know that.
Those take me out to the ball game.
No, well, it's taking me out to the ball game, but it's also Majora's Mask.
Mm.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Robert
So
knew what I'm
that-
talking about.
Yeah. That's
That's
actually
the-
been ever since I've played Ocarina of Time, that has been stuck in my head, which makes no sense because it's not even in the game.
Really?
but I've been thinking about that.
You know what? The one Zelda song that, other than the main theme, is because that fucking Twilight Princess level where you had to follow the guy, he kept disappearing. He's playing with the little kazoo sounding thing, and the motherfucker was so hard to find. But you just could hear the music, and it went on for hours.
The Lost Woods.
Ocarinas.
Getting
That's
lost,
Ocar-
going through the wrong fucking portal hole, and
Yeah,
going through the wrong
that was
tree
Ocarina of
trunk.
Time's lasting legacy right there. It's music, it's sound effects, the sound of the NPCs carried over to every fucking Zelda game.
Yeah, actually,
After.
that's crazy.
Every fucking Zelda game. Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, all had Ocarina of Time shit in it. Fucking so.
Bro, do you hear a difference?
I'm comparing because you played the SNES version.
We'll have to give you guys an update next week on the.
I don't think a lot of background noise.
If it's just that, you're not gonna hear a difference. It should be just the same song. I would
It's
assume.
the-
Well, the problem is
PS1
because No, the SNES version, it sounds better than the SNES version, so it's probably the PlayStation version I'm hearing. There.
Yeah, but the PS1 version didn't have orchestrated music.
No,
It was, yeah.
orchestrated.
No,
It
we're
would have had
past that.
CD
Cleaner.
I
quality.
recognize it's not orchestrated. I'm
I
I'm
thought it
past
was,
that.
it was orchestrated. Like that's a massive.
Like,
Orchestrated on
like-
the fucking Super Nintendo. What the?
I got both games. I got both games.
Listen,
Yeah.
I recognize
you.
it's not
What do you
orchestrated.
think sounds
That was
better,
my
the
fault.
PS1 version or the Super Nintendo version in terms of music quality?
Are you asking me? Sorry, what?
Yeah. Like in terms of music quality, like in terms of like it's the crispness.
No, the
What sounds-
PS1 version would have had CD quality music
Yeah,
of the
CD quality.
SNES
Okay,
of the
okay, yeah, then,
SNES
yeah,
soundtrack.
Yeah,
But
it's
he's
just
talking
it's clear.
about the way
That was the
went
buzzword
about
of the
it.
day.
Was it was like he's saying
Yeah,
like it's
I said
original
it. I
orchestrated
explained-
remixed
yeah,
shit. I'm
that's
like,
what
no,
I
that's-
I explained it poorly.
That was the buzzword of the day. CD quality. Even Nintendo 64 used to do that. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, we have CD quality sound in this game. No, you don't.
The reason why it makes more sense now because because if you listen to the advanced music sounds very different.
But anyway, in terms of the argument, it's all mute because he is now listening to the original soundtrack, Rob. So it's fine.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
very
so-
technically.
Okay, so you're listening to greatness then, all right? Then there you go.
And
I just
Robert
listened to a
still
blur-
didn't, use Epona, so you
Yeah.
know.
Man, I'm never gonna live that
Just start the game back. Can't you go back and just get Epona?
and
Or
just
no?
get him real quick.
I always, yeah, it is probably him. But I always said
Is
that.
it always?
I
I
always
thought
say
it was
Get her
her.
real quick. I'm
No,
sure
I thought it was her.
It was always
her.
a girl. Come
I,
on.
it just rolled off my tongue. Him.
I think you should go. Get
That's- you
Epona
don't
and
misgender
ride around
a
Hyrule
horse.
Field
How
a
dare
little
you.
bit. Just do it.
Don't miss
But
it.
That's
Don't
way
anyway,
to
miss
we're
beat
gonna,
the
we're gonna
horse.
get out of here. I'm gonna have to re-listen, try to come up with the title. I've been adding chapters. To last week's, I added the chapters. I'm
Check
gonna
you
be
out.
doing that.
Putting in work.
And
Well,
that takes a
dude,
while because
what-
you gotta you
Yeah,
gotta
it is.
listen
It does.
through.
That's
You
why I
gotta
don't do it.
put the time where we start
Wow.
each topics. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, good discussion. I know the Steam Deck discussion went a little long. I saw Terrell falling asleep, but you know, just
No,
we
I
didn't
got
have anything
I got-
planned. There's not a lot of like obvious topics lately, so
We
maybe
didn't do the boxer game yet.
Well, we gamers, we can
We'll
come
do
up
that
with
next
topics.
week.
We don't need no news.
No, but Clock, are you gonna be here next week or no?
Probably not.
all right,
But
do one,
just-
do
just-
one right now.
just-
Well, no, I'm not gonna do
Do
it.
what?
It's already too late.
All right, so thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with Terrell give his final opinion on the
Wait.
music,
Can you see me?
On the music.
Yeah.
No.
and
No.
yeah, you look like a
Technically, yeah, I
Sega
saw your
CD
Yeah.
game. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week.